backtrack. And you should have kept my name out your mouth. As we go, how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, give me something you can talk about. Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. How are you doing this fine Monday? I'm doing quite well. Basically just been working all weekend trying to keep up with everything going on. I do have a Jay-Z video coming out soon. I don't know why I keep calling it Jay-Z. I just associate him so closely with Rock Nation. I have the Rock Nation lawsuit video. It's like an hour and a half long, 95-page lawsuit, the amended complaint. So, some big things in the works. Got a couple new videos actually out this weekend. Juror 6. I got a video out on, my working theory right now that it's going to be Lou Taylor and or TriStar Sports and Entertainment and or Robin Greenhill going to be pulled into this Diddy case. So make sure that you are caught up on that. All right. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Already 1,000 people in here. We haven't even been live for 2 minutes. Wow. Never thought that day would come, really. I mean, I guess I did, but wow. Okay, so they're already started in court. It is Monday, June 16th, 9:07 a.m., and the jury has not yet come in from the last I checked. They are arguing still over the Juror 6 thing. They're arguing over, you know what, let me just pull it up. I'll show y'all. I got this information from Inner City Press. I do have his channel, his Twitter linked in the comments, the description box. I have his channel linked in the description box. I also have the mods. The mods have their links, some of the mods. I'm waiting for links from other mods. But if you want to support the mods, I know y'all see them in here all day, making it to where we can actually function in here because people don't know how to act. If I didn't have mods on here, y'all I would have no live chat because people, there's so many bots. I got to show y'all some bots evidence. Maybe if we have a few extra minutes today. The issue is I don't have an easy or good way to really show y'all pictures from my camera roll. But, y'all, I got some good bots evidence. Okay. I do have this book. I wish you would make the hard copy books of all the books, but I did also order Diddy Do It. This is Matthew Russell Lee's first book. Now he's on book 5 of the Diddy trial, and it's a book of like his tweets. So very, very cool. I love it. I'm happy I got it. He has 5 books total. That's one of them. T. Jones said they ordered it too. Thank you. Irish cousin has entered the chat. Shout out to the Irish cousins. Ever since I learned that hand in the pocket thing, I'm like, my hand's in the pocket with y'all. Okay. I got green eyes. So they told me that means I got to be Irish. That's what they told me. It means you can't have green eyes unless you got Irish DNA. I don't know if that's true. Somebody tell me. Is that a fairy tale? Okay. Let's see what they're arguing about now. So this is Inner City Press. Okay. Let's give it a like. Before the jurors are brought in, this 15 minutes ago, or 16. The judge, poor thing, y'all. I'm telling you one thing. I don't envy this judge not one bit. Lord. Hope everyone had a good weekend. The defense's motion for an instruction to the jury that witness Bana Bongolan committed perjury. She was questioned at length on this. I deny the motion. Remember, they were trying to get a motion for the judge to tell the jury, you know how like before the jury goes, maybe y'all don't know this, but before the jury goes to deliberate, before they leave, like when the trial is like done, when the case is arrested and then they go to the back to decide guilty or not guilty or whatever, before they go to do that, the judge in any case will give them instructions on what to consider, what not to consider, what things are important. Sorry, I saw something weird. What things are important, what things, are whatever, they're called jury instructions. Well, each side can, if they want, propose the judge gives special instructions. Now, he did threaten Diddy to do this to him, with the nodding. He was like, if you don't stop nodding, if your client don't stop nodding, I'm going to give a jury instruction that you're not going to like. Okay. So there's already been threats about this. Well, Diddy's side asked for a jury instruction that it was so stupid too. It's like the stuff he asks for is so like sometimes so audacious and just out of left field and out of control. And it's like bad faith, in my opinion. It's just bad faith. And I feel like that's what's going on with this Juror 6 thing. I don't feel like it was necessarily always bad faith, but at this point, I feel like it is. So here, this was about Bana. They wrote to the judge. Diddy wrote to the judge through his lawyers and was like, I want the jury to have an instruction saying Bana committed perjury knowingly and the prosecution put on false evidence and all this stuff. And it was just way beyond. It's like, okay, come on, chill out. The judge said, that's cute. No, I'm not doing that. Anyway, she was questioned on length. Moving on to she was questioned at length on this. I deny that motion. Y'all need to chill out. Now, moving on to Juror 6. He said last week, Diddy and his side opposed. They were against it. They opposed further questioning of this juror. And y'all were sitting here in my courtroom telling me that it would have been harassment. Y'all told me Friday it was going to be harassment to call the man back up for more questions. But then all of a sudden, you're begging me and you're saying you're going to get a mistrial if he don't get to come back and answer questions. No. The judge said, I took time to consider this. Judge says, the record raised serious concerns about the juror. The judge says shading his answers to be on the jury, but that's kind of another way of like politely saying he lied. He was kind of shaping the answers that he was giving just to stay on the jury and not really necessarily to like tell the truth. The judge said the shifting answers raised questions about the juror's credibility. So the court indicated the juror should be dismissed. Now, after opposing further questioning previously, now the defense urges further questioning of this juror. He said the defense raised concerns about replacing an African-American juror with a white one, and they cited this Second Circuit case. The court, the judge, takes this issue very seriously, but further questioning is inappropriate. And if we further question this juror, it might negatively impact the rest of the jury. This is why we have alternates. The judge said, even Diddy's lawyer, Mr. Xavier Donaldson, did praise the diversity of this jury. He said the process worked wonderfully. He said, the defense, this is Xavier Donaldson, asked the court to base its decision on race. And this is what I said previously. I said, now the whole point is you're not supposed to base a juror and choosing them. You're not supposed to base the selection on their race. And so sometimes you do have to make sure that you're not, allowing people to just like, if every single black juror that was possibly in the pool all got eliminated, that might be an issue. But there's several black jurors on this jury. There's apparently also Hispanic jurors. And that is apparently like the two most underrepresented kind of like when you compare the population percentages in the city of like race, it's usually more white people on juries than there is as represented in the population of the city. But in this particular one, there are black jurors and there are Hispanic jurors, and everyone agrees, even the defense, that it's more than usual. So it's a very diverse jury compared to typical, which is a good thing in general. However, the jurors are not supposed to be chosen based on their race, period, like at all. So we don't need to overcorrect and say, oh, we can't choose jurors based on race, but then, yeah, we can choose jurors based on race only if it's to stack the jury with more black people. That's just not it's just not constitutional. Y'all, if y'all don't like it, you can start working on a constitutional amendment. I'm just telling you what the Constitution is. Okay. You cannot choose a juror based on their race. Is it illegal? It's unconstitutional. So the judge is like, okay. And then for some reason, the defense, Diddy's team, asked me to base my jury decision based on somebody's race, which they should know is not proper. He said that would be inappropriate. So juror 6 is excused and is replaced by the first alternate. Now, as to Diddy's allegation of prosecutorial misconduct, that is inviting the court to make a decision based on race and cannot be granted. As to the issue about another juror that arose on Friday, okay, y'all, there's another juror issue. Breaking news. Inside Diddy trial, after dismissing juror 6 for lack of candor and other reasons, judge says there is an issue with yet another juror. All super secret, sealed, special, what am I trying to say? For only them and not the public for some reason. Most secretive public trial I ever saw. Okay, so we're having issues with another juror. The judge said, I'll question that juror at the end of today's session. The parties should tell me if we clear the courtroom or do it in the robing room. In any event, public and press are not allowed to hear the report in real time. If the jury is gone, why does it need to be in the robing room? Agreed. It's ridiculous. I'm sick of it. I say this every day. I know y'all are tired of hearing me saying it, but I'm tired of being excluded. We have rights. As the public to a public trial. It's called the United States of America versus Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. It's not called Super Secret Society versus Super Secret Society. That's not what it's called. It's called the United States. So we're supposed to know what's going on. And it's like from time to time, stuff has to be sealed. Stuff has to be redacted. But y'all, I mean, it's like every single day, half of the issues being discussed, we have no idea about until after it's decided. It's crazy. It's not acceptable. And I think that this judge needs to be admonished. That's just my opinion. Okay. All right, so the jurors enter. Welcome back, jurors. The government may call its next witness. First, we're going to put in some super secret under seal exhibits subject to connection. Okay, now we call our first witness, Miss Sankar. Okay, it's Ananya Sankar, paralegal specialist at the United States Attorney's Office. First question, what did you work on in this case? So this is somebody who is going to be talking about, the different pieces of evidence that the jury has maybe already heard and some that they maybe have not already heard and seen. Pretty much helping the jury to condense down some of these RICO elements and understand what the government's case really is. Now, this doesn't mean that it's the truth. It just means that it's the government's version of the truth. Diddy is going to be able to have his own witness come up and do all this stuff as well, if he so chooses. So what did you work on in this case? That's the first question. She says 2 summary. So I'm just calling her RICO expert, but it's like technically she's being referred to as a summary witness. This is somebody that is talking about the all the evidence in the case. This isn't someone that's going to be talking about this case as if they were there. They weren't there at the freak offs. They don't have any facts to offer up. It's all just some of this stuff is necessarily going to be facts, but it's kind of helping summarize, like summary witness. It's helping the jury to summarize what went on, at least according to how the government has tried to lay out their case. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth over these summary charts. That's her answer, right? What did you work on? She said 2 summary charts. I was asked to verify the accuracy of the summary charts. Okay. Can you describe the documents underlying these charts? So basically there's like some Excel spreadsheet type looking type of charts, and it's a summary. It's like a table of contents in a way, kind of. An outline of sorts of these pages. And so it's not like the jury is going to have to sit there with like 2,000 pages. They're going to, actually be able to have this chart. And this chart has been hotly debated between the parties, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What can be on it? What can't? This is where it first started coming to light. Robin Denise Greenhill is going to be mentioned somehow, some way, or was in these charts. So the question is, can you describe the documents underlying these charts? So what are the documents that these charts are based on? And she says hundreds of pages. This is hundreds of pages of documents. Okay, let's go to CNN. They have quite a few updates. We'll just start at the beginning of CNN.com. Prosecutors have 5 witnesses left. These include 3 summary witnesses. So one of them is here today. There's going to be 2 more summary witnesses. And we do know that they also are planning to call, what's his name? Brendan, the so-called alleged rug mule. But I think he also was referred to as a personal assistant to Diddy. And he worked alongside, what was his name? Jonathan Perez, who was one of the more recent people to testify. He was the, I think he might have been the 4th personal assistant of sorts. If you count like Capricorn Jones, we had George Kaplan, we had David James, and then we had Jonathan Perez. So now we're going to have also, additionally, is going to be this Brendan Mule. Is his name Paul? I don't know why I keep thinking his name is Paul. I don't really know if his name is Brendan Paul. But he's the one that got arrested. He was getting on the plane with Diddy and all that whenever the arrests happened. So they're going to call him too. But who's the 5th witness? Because we have 3 summary witnesses and we have Brendan. So who's the other person? Maybe a special agent, they said? Yeah, a law enforcement agent. Yeah. And another former assistant. Okay. So then they also gave us a rundown on this Juror 6 issue. Last week, the judge said he intends to dismiss one of the jurors. Juror 6, he said he would review the situation again over the weekend and let the attorneys know if he changed his mind. He said he found that the juror has been inconsistent in answering questions about where he lives. But after extensive argument from the defense Friday afternoon, the judge was like, fine, I'll keep thinking about it. The judge said that in reviewing transcripts, he's identified some inconsistencies in the juror's disclosures about where he lives, who he lives with. And then when he was asked at different times, he gave different answers. During jury selection, he said he lived with his fiance and his baby daughter in the Bronx. But in inquiry last week, he told the court that he recently moved in with the woman. And his child has been living in New Jersey the whole time since she's been born. Then he also gave a separate different answer that he lived with his aunt 4 to 5 nights a week. The judge said, quote, the changing answers and inconsistency give the court worry about deception and lying. He said there's some evidence that the juror was acting with a personal agenda. The juror appeared to make an effort to stay on the jury. When he told the court during the inquiry that he still has a New York license and his bills go to a New York address, and he still maintains this address, so nothing has changed regarding his eligibility. The judge said no, goodbye. So 35 minutes ago, the judge was back on the bench. He dismissed juror number 6 because of his prior inconsistent disclosures about where he lives and who he lives with. So the first alternate is now in his place. What we know about the dismissed juror: 41-year-old man lives with his fiance and child. We also know he's Black because they've argued about it. He previously told the court he works as a clerk at a correctional facility. He said he's a fan of 90s hip hop. The juror said he pled guilty to misdemeanor fraud related to insurance and received 1-year conditional discharge. He told the court that he had heard about the Diddy trial. He said he didn't know much about it. The alternate juror who will replace him is a 57-year-old man who lives with his wife and his 2 kids in Westchester County. He's a manufacturing architect with a master's degree in mechanical engineering, and he has heard some media coverage of the allegations against Diddy. He heard those on the radio. 14 minutes ago, the judge, this is CNN.com, indicated there was an issue with another juror, but it's unrelated to this dismissed juror. The judge indicated there was an issue with another juror, although he said it was in no way linked to the issues with Juror 6. He said they would further question that juror after the jury is dismissed today, this afternoon. 9 minutes ago, paralegal specialist called to the stand. She works in the Southern District of New York. Let's go check out NBC News. Okay, they were talking about this juror. We get a little bit more information about the juror. 41-year-old black male who works in communications at a correctional facility. He sits on the front row on the far right, facing the parties. He's attentive and he takes notes. The defense was very much opposed to getting rid of this juror. And then, of course, Ye appeared Friday, who's expected to testify this week. This is still NBC News. It's going to be Ananya Sankar and then Delessa Penland. Delisa or Delessa? So that's going to be a person that's going to be coming next. Delessa Penland, and she's also a summary witness. Prosecutors say Penland will focus on the timeline. Thank God. We need a timeline person in here. Now, Diddy's team is also opposed. He is opposed this timeline expert. They don't want the timeline chart. They don't want the timeline expert, but they really simply have to, because even for like me, and I love a timeline. If you're hearing all this and all this stuff, like you really need to see it. You have to be able to see it on a timeline. What was all going on at the same time? Because the testimony so far has jumped all over the place within each person. It's like, now let's go to 2012. Let's go to 2017. Let's go to 2011. Let's go to 2014. It's like, what? So it really, I don't even think it would be a fair trial if they didn't have the ability to see what was going on with these events in chronological order. So this is my first time ever really seeing much about a summary witness. I did go to law school. I did, I earned a JD. I had passed the bar on my first try and all that. I have given up my law license. I don't practice anymore. But even when I was practicing, this was nowhere near I was doing corporate, y'all. I was helping, companies buy companies and stuff. I was doing SEC. I don't know about these summary witnesses. So I'm kind of learning about it along with y'all at the same time. Apparently this is like a federal court, I don't know, mainstay type of thing. Like happens a lot in federal court. Okay, as we begin, okay, so Penland is going to focus on the timeline of the alleged March 2016 assault. Okay, so she's going to focus, or he, Delessa, that seems like a she. We'll focus on the 2016 Intercontinental Hotel incident. Remember, we've heard all those different details about that. So we're gonna have her focus. We're gonna hear or see or read about her focusing on. All right. So first, Cassie has a movie premiere coming up, and then they go to the hotel for a freak off. He says it's gonna last only a few hours, but it ends up lasting more. She tries to leave. She calls this. She leaves finally. Diddy leaves. He goes track her down. Like all this stuff, right? Okay. So after that, Diddy's former assistant, Brendan Paul, summary witness. Okay, so Brendan Paul, that is his last name. And then another summary witness named Joseph Cerciello and someone named Omar Hazori, who is a law enforcement agent. Okay. 51 minutes ago, defense files letter to court Sunday in last ditch appeal or effort. It's not quite an appeal to keep juror. But we're going to go over this. I do have it downloaded, and I'm going to talk about it later once we're kind of caught up with what's going on in court. Y'all, they sent the most embarrassing filing. They were saying if the judge dismisses this juror, they're going to try to get a mistrial over it. And it's just so stupid. It's so bad faith that it makes all their good faith arguments and all their really good arguments kind of even seem like, were those just being made on accident? 14-page letter they filed yesterday on Sunday. In the letter, the defense argued that there is no valid basis to dismiss the juror. There's like 3 or 4 valid bases, y'all. And then within that, on one of the valid bases is that he's told inconsistent things that can't be reconciled with each other or the truth. There's like 3 or 4 different things he said that are inconsistent. So even within one little subsection, there's like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. Okay, there's already that. So that's 4 independent bases right there. Then there's issues with honesty, issues with him trying to shade his answers, issues with him maybe having an agenda, issues with him not living in the jurisdiction. Hello. A jury of your peers has to be comprised of the people in the district. It's called the Southern District of where? New York. He lives in New Jersey. His kid was born in New Jersey. His fiance lives in New Jersey. He got one auntie lives in the Bronx, and he's getting a bill sent over there and trying to act like he lives there. He needs to relax before he gets fired from his job. But no, here's a 14. Who was up all night writing this letter? I feel sorry for the associate at the law firm who was up all night writing that letter. In the letter, Diddy's lawyers argued that there's no valid basis to dismiss the juror, and it would be discrimination to dismiss this juror. They cited more than a dozen examples. Attorneys for Diddy say that the case has been an extreme exercise of overreach from its inception. Chill out. Quote, all of this. Oh my God, they're so stupid. I'm sick of this, y'all. I am so sick of this. All of this was part of a coordinated effort to try to destroy one of the most successful Black men in American history. Maybe he was so successful because some of the stuff he was doing. Because it certainly wasn't because he was talented. I mean, I could name a lot of talented Black men, and just Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs is just not one of them. So, sorry. Okay, anyway, court was in session. Juror dismissed over concerns about his candor, and whether he shaded his answers to get and stay on the panel. Now, of course, we're always concerned that Diddy's side is going to come out and appeal. They're going to appeal based on these issues, but I don't think they really have a fighting chance. They don't have a snowball chance in a fireplace on this one, y'all, because this removing a juror issue thing is like very well settled that it is 100% in the discretion of the judge. He doesn't even actually have to have a meeting. He doesn't actually have to hear anything from anybody. He can just say, "Oh, gotta go, bye." That's it. And his decision to get rid of a juror cannot be reviewed on appeal. It cannot be reviewed on appeal. The only possible way it can be reviewed on appeal is if the juror was dismissed because of bias. And the judge has put so many reasons on here that have shown that this wasn't because of bias. In fact, and indeed, the guy was allowed to be on the jury. He was on the jury. It was his own answers. It was his own bringing it up to the court staff behind closed doors that even brought this to anyone's attention. It wasn't like the government was going out of their way to try and figure out, follow him home and stuff. He said it. So there was no bias. So it's not going to get overturned on appeal. Not this particular issue. The judge said he shared the defense's concerns about dismissing a juror, but he said he just couldn't give a pass. He just couldn't get past the juror's inconsistent answers about where he lives. Is it New York City? Is it New Jersey? Is it with his girlfriend? Is it with his fiance? Is it with his daughter? Is it with his aunt? It's just the judge just said, I hear you. I know it's a big deal, but no, the man lied. 17 minutes ago, the government called summary witness to the stand, Ananya Sankar, a paralegal. She is to serve as a summary witness, or someone who offers a simplified testimony about the large volume of evidence in the case. She told the court that she reviewed text messages from cell phone extractions. She reviewed call logs. She looked at other files, and she looked at the 2 charts. Okay, so someone joining is an accountant. That alternate number 1, he got pulled on, and this guy is an accountant. This may end up being important because there's some accounting being testified about in the next, this week. And another panelist's fate is considered. Okay, so a 57-year-old accountant from Westchester County was promoted from the alternate pool into the primary panel of 12. The white male, so it was a white man who did replace. Now, the alternates are numbered. So it's alternate 1, alternate 2, alternate 3, alternate 4, alternate 5, alternate 6. So now there's only 5 left. So the remaining ones are 2, 3, 4, 5. But and no, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because number 1 has already been pulled in. But if we have another issue with another juror, we may end up getting one pulled. Now, is it going to be the government again trying to get rid of a juror? Hard to say. It right now is a toss-up, 50-50. But what if it's Diddy's side now trying to get rid of a white juror? We'll see, because there is at least one, I've heard, there is at least one black man on the jury alternates. And obviously it wasn't alternate 1. And again, y'all, they don't just say, oh, we got rid of a black man, let's pick a black man. That's illegal. That's unconstitutional. You cannot just say, oh, all black people are the same, let's just trade one out for another. That's not right. That's literally racist. You cannot say we got rid of a black guy, we got to put a black guy because all black people are the same. That's what you're saying if you say that we should do that. Okay, I got news for y'all. They got black people out here that's conservative. They got black people in the world in the Southern District who are very opposed to this type of behavior. So you can't you're supposed to not be really able to make any judgments on people based on their race under the law. That's what the law says. Now, do cops go out here acting a fool? Absolutely. Do certain prosecutors probably make race-based decisions? Absolutely. And when they do that, they are supposed to be getting in trouble. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, we have laws for a reason and we have stuff that exists like this for a reason. There need to be consequences for whenever people break the law and break the rules. But we do need to start with the, like, at least can we please not judge people based on the color of their skin, please? So it just so happened, and I believe that this alternates order went in order based on how the parties actually picked them. So juror alternate 1 was already decided. This was already alternate 1, and they already have numbers assigned to them, just like the jurors already have numbers assigned to them. So this one that just came on is a 57-year-old accountant from Westchester County. He was promoted this morning. He's white male. He will replace juror number 6, a black male who gave inconsistent answers about his residence. But there could be an issue with another juror over conversations he might have had with a colleague. Okay, we're getting more context about this other juror. Over conversations he had with a colleague, he was questioned by the judge on Friday and had his phone to Subramanian. I don't know what this sentence is supposed to say. Maybe he had to give his phone to the judge. I don't know what that means. The judge is going to ask the panelists more questions after the testimony today. Wow. They should have sequestered this jury. Okay. I want to go to Washington Post, but let's go to Inner City Press and get caught up first. Okay. Just to remind you, the last tweet that we read was this one, right? Excuse me. I need to take a sip of water. Water. Okay. What did you work on in this case? 2 summary charts I was asked to verify the accuracy of. Can you describe the documents underlying these charts? Geez, that was hundreds of pages. Who is in the messages in the chart? Christina Karam. And whose cell phone number is this? Brendan Paul. How did Miss Karam respond to Mr. Lopez about seeing the escort? Okay. So this is a question. Who's Mr. Lopez? Who's Mr. Lopez? I don't know who this is. But anyway, it's a text message exchange between Christina Karam and someone named Mr. Lopez. And someone saw an escort. Who's Mr. Lopez? So someone named Mr. Lopez apparently saw an escort and told Christina Karam about it. Is it Perez, maybe? Jonathan Perez? No, because he said he never saw one. Okay, so how did KK, the chief of staff, respond to whoever Mr. Lopez is about seeing the escort? And the expert, she answers, well, Christina Karam responded with 4 laughing emojis and said, how long is he going to stay awake? I don't know, who is he? Again, we're going to need more context. Maybe CNN or Washington Post will give it. Okay, let's move to the next text. This one's from January 30th, 2023. So this would have been this would have been January, early the year that Cassie ended up later that year suing Diddy. Okay, so what we're looking at, this is an audio file from January 2023. So about 2.5-ish years ago. Miss Foster, please play the first minute and 10 seconds of this audio. Woo, girl. All right, this is good. This is good. Ooh, I can't wait for Rabbit to read this transcript. So they play 1 minute and 10 seconds. They played 1 minute and 10 seconds of an audio file. The audio file, so far, what we have so far from Inner City Press, he's saying audio file is playing female voice. 2 things were weird. The only person who knew was you. And someone found an iPad? And the expert says, yes, that's what was said. Okay, next question. What did Christina Karam say in this? The expert says, well, she says, he's going to the Four Seasons and he wants you to bring Gatorade and chicken noodle soup. The assistant U.S. attorney said, okay, I'll read these next ones. I'll be Dave Shirley. I don't know who's Dave Shirley, y'all. I don't know who any of these people are, but hopefully we're going to find out soon. So they're just going through different pieces of evidence. Okay, the first evidence they did was a text about an escort. It's somebody's like, I saw an escort, and it's Christina Karam laughing emojis. Ha ha ha, how long is he going to stay awake? Now, who is he? I don't know. Maybe we'll get some more updates from the other sources. Now, that was a text message. Okay, moving on. Then they heard an audio file having to do with maybe something different. This has to do, this had to do with somebody saw an escort. This audio file, though, has to do with, I think it's the recording. I think it's the recording between KK and someone. I don't know who, but it may be the Lopez one. Look, audio file, January 2023. Yes, please play the first minute, 10 seconds. And it's a female voice. I'm assuming it's KK. Okay, so that's another piece of evidence. Moving on to yet another third piece of evidence that they're having this expert kind of talk about. What did Christina Karam say in this message? She says he's going to the Four Seasons and wants you to bring up Gatorade and chicken noodle soup. Okay. Read these. So it's text messages, I guess, between Dave Shirley, Rock, Christina Karam. Again, y'all, we're going to need to see the transcript or at least another, like some more context. I know that Inner City Press is like flying as fast as he can, like typing as fast as he can. So if it's confusing to you, don't worry. It's a little bit confusing to me too, but we'll get through the drama together. Anyway, so this is about going to the Four Seasons to bring chicken noodle soup. The assistant U.S. attorney says, read these. So now they're reading something else. And the assistant U.S. attorney says, I'll be Dave Shirley. Who is Dave Shirley? No idea. But Dave Shirley says, is Rock riding with him? Yes. No, excuse me. No. So Dave Shirley, is Rock riding with him? Is D-Rock, that's the security guy. Is he riding with him? No, says KK. KK said no. Okay, again, they're just kind of reading these into evidence. We will get more. I don't know why Inner City Press bothers engaging with these AstroTurf bots. Okay, let me see. Y'all, we had King Nights. Now we're getting Wild King Nights. Okay, girl. Okay, we got the Wild King Nights have entered the chat. Can you run 4,000? So this is KK texting Dave Shirley. Can you run $4,000 cash from D-Rock to the hotel? So KK is telling Dave Shirley, whoever that is, go pick up $4,000 from D-Rock and run it to the hotel. $4,000. And then KK says, heads up, he's about to do a wild king night tonight. Then Dave Shirley said, forgot to pick up the money. Just give it to Fahim just in case. So I think this is really just trying to show and establish that like KK was the one, saying run this money here, run this money there. And if somebody's about to do a wild king night and you need to run $4,000 over there, what do you think is the money is for really? We do get some more context, thank God, from CNN on these text messages. So maybe this will help fill in some of the blanks. Paralegal specialist reads texts between Diddy's staff members. Ananya Sankar, a paralegal specialist at the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, read out loud messages between Christina Karam, who was at the time Diddy's chief of staff, and one of Diddy's assistants, Ryan Lopez. Okay, so Ryan Lopez is one of the assistants. They were included in the chart. Now, Ms. Sankar is a summary witness, which these are usually used to submit summary charts into evidence. The messages that she's reading from the chart were from December 29th, 2019. Now, this is interesting because D-Rock said he stopped working for Diddy in 2017, but here's D-Rock being told to go and run money this way and that way for Diddy, pick it up from 4,000, pick up from this guy, bring it to that guy. Oh, look at this. Ooh. Oh my gosh. So so we get the quote of the escort thing. And all of these that we've heard so far are communications from Christina Karam. So they're communications between her and other people. So the first one is this one right here. Quote, someone sends her, this is Ryan Lopez, yet another assistant of Diddy's. This is December 2019. It's almost New Year's Eve. And the assistant texts the chief of staff, KK, and says, quote, LOL, I think I saw one of the cowboys today. You can spot them in a lobby like an escort. I forgot to tell you about that. Karam texted back 4 laugh face emojis. By the way, how long is he going to stay awake? LOL, the assistant responded. I'm guessing till tomorrow night. 2 women who had dated Diddy and testified against him in the trial, Cassie and Jane, previously testified that KK and Diddy used to have a service. Oh, sorry, Jane, both of them. Cassie and Jane previously testified that they used a service called Cowboys and Angels to find escorts for freak-offs. So look, I spotted one of, I LOL, think I saw one of the cowboys today. You could spot him in a lobby like an escort. I forgot to tell you about it, right? So this is the Cowboys and Angels escort. How long is he going to stay awake? Ha ha ha. LOL, I don't know. I guess till tomorrow night. Freak-offs, according to testimony in the trial, is where sexual encounters between Diddy's girlfriend and a male entertainer, often in a hotel room, with Diddy present. Cassie, who dated Diddy from around 2007 to 2018, testified that Diddy called them freak-offs. Hold on. Hold on. Someone's like making a noise. I can't stand something making a freaking noise. Okay. Jonathan Perez was a personal assistant to Diddy. Why are we talking? Is it Ryan Lopez or Jonathan Perez? Because they're using different names. Look, Lopez responded. Then they're saying Jonathan Perez. Like Lopez, y'all know Lopez and Perez is 2 different names. Y'all know that? And Jonathan and Ryan is 2 different names. This is strange to me. Anyway, in any event, Jonathan Perez did testify A personal assistant to Diddy from December 2021 to September 2024 testified Friday about staff members setting up king nights, which he described as Diddy going to a hotel to have a private time with a female. Okay, let's go to Inner City Press. We still do need to catch up on all of the Washington Post stuff because they like to put details in, but we do have another tweet, so let's stay on top of it with Inner City Press. The most recent thing was this: Dave Shirley said to Christina Karam he forgot to pick up the money, so just give it to Fahim. What? Paul is okay. Okay, got it. What does the hotel write to Miss Karam? What does the hotel write to Miss Karam? Remember, y'all, we're going through Christina Karam text messages, and I think it is now finally time to start doing the web. So the reason I have refrained from doing the web is I don't want to take time away. Like, I know y'all want to just get to like what's being actually said and all that, but I think it's now time to start like having a web that I can refer to. So um be aware, today I am going to endeavor to start a little web so that we can at least click back to it and kind of look like who is who, what's going on, and all of that. What does the hotel write to Miss Karam? Hotel called Paul is coming up. Now, who is Paul? Paul is the guy, Paul Arthur. He's the one who Jane would prefer to have a freak off with if she had to have a freak off. And he's also, and I don't feel like I've seen enough like attention being paid to this. But he was also a personal trainer, so like an employee. Okay, people are saying yes to the web. Okay. I mean, I just have felt like I didn't want to like, because it's like, pulling one screen down, pulling one up. I have to like, do some editing to the pictures, and like it's just kind of like time consuming, but I think it will help. Okay, so we had Jane Doe. She's the one having freak off. She's the one dated Diddy from 2021 to 2024 whenever he was arrested. She was getting the $10,000 rent payments. Now, people are saying that Diddy was giving her $10,000 a month, which isn't exactly true. He was having her rent paid, which did cost $10,000 a month, but it wasn't like she just had $10,000 a month and she decided like, okay, I'm going to each month spend it this way or that way. It was like, no, it was just going to the house that she was living in. And I really want to know who owns that house. Anyway. Okay. So what is the hotel right to Christina? What is the hotel right to? Hold on a second. Hold on one second. Okay. Hotel called. Paul is coming up. Who's Paul? Diddy's personal trainer and also freak off participant. Now, he's also the one we found out recently, from Jane, or from her testimony. He was texting with Diddy. Diddy was like, oh, Jane told me no tonight. You got to text her. You text her and we'll be in. Okay. Okay. Next question. Does Paul appear anywhere else in this chart? She said, yes, he does. Let's turn off the exhibit screens to the public and the press. Just let me know when they're off. Where else does Paul appear? Please read these texts between Jane, this is Jane Doe, and Miss Karam, that's KK. Okay, so this is KK. Ask them if they can bring up 15 bath towels. Jane says, he always brings between 5 and 10,000. They are expecting people to leave the presidential suite at 1 p.m. And then KK said, we're taking off. So this is some type of like hotel coordination. Like you need to be checked out by a certain time, this, that, the other. Let's start doing this. Cause I want to start doing, the, I want to start making the web. So I'm getting their pictures. And do y'all remember too the NBA stars, like the trifecta? Where Diddy was Michael Jordan, and Jane said that she was sorry, I can only do one thing at one time. Diddy was Michael Jordan, and then Jane said she was Kobe, and then this other one, Paul, he was Shaquille O'Neal, and then they would like, it kind of looks like maybe they were actually literally role playing as these people. I thought they were just nicknames, but the Daily Mail is saying that it was like actually like this bizarre role play. I'm just setting up my web here a little bit. I already do have a Diddy web, so let me pull that up. Hopefully this time use will be this will be a good use of time because it is a little bit time consuming. Hold on. All right. Let's catch up here and then we'll go back to the web. We have a new update from CNN 2 minutes ago. Jury sees texts showing Diddy's staff planned hotel nights with Cassie. So this is a Cassie one. This is a Cassie one. This is 2016. The jury was shown text messages between Diddy's assistants and Christina Karam, his former chief of staff, about planning for hotel nights for Diddy and Cassie in March 2016. Okay, so this is the exact same time frame as the Intercontinental Hotel situation. In one message, they discuss adding the name of an escort to the hotel room file. This is giving White Lotus. Karam and the other assistants then discuss getting $4,000 to the hotel in cash. In another exchange, Christina Karam tells an assistant, "Heads up, he's probably about to do Wild King tonight." The assistant, Dave Shirley, who has not testified at this trial, he wrote in response, "Bleep, need to re-up on baby oil and bleep, baby oil. So if you're doing King night, then you need a baby oil and bleep." In yet another message, Christina Karam texted Cassie directly. "Hi, Dave is at your door with the green." I guess that's money, the $4,000. We have two new updates from NBC. Witness goes over evidence files from Diddy's chief of staff. The prosecution is having Sankar review the evidence she reviewed, which was extracted from the phone of Christina Karam, who served as Diddy's chief of staff. Some of the messages include apparent discussions about an escort, and others include Christina Karam instructing an assistant to set up Diddy's hotel room before he arrived. Prosecutors also looked at messages where assistants were told to give Diddy large quantities of cash. The line of questioning appears to be the government's way of bolstering its allegation that Diddy used his employees to assist in his criminal enterprise. 3 minutes ago, NBCnews.com, Diddy needed soup and cash in the hotel room. According to a text message from his chief of staff, Christina Karam, to other assistants, and this is March 2016, Diddy had some very specific needs for a Four Seasons hotel room. So this is not the Intercontinental. This is somewhere else. It's a different hotel, different freak off. Christina Karam told staffers to ensure the room was stocked with Gatorade, water, and chicken noodle soup. No soda on the side, it appears. Let it rain. I can hear it. In another text, Christina Karam asked workers to fetch $4,000 in cash and ensure that a male escort had access to the hotel room. So put his name on the listing, on the booking. Okay, less than a minute ago, CNN.com. The jury was shown text messages between Christina Karam and Diddy. So now we're seeing texts from Diddy. So they're going all over, and this is why we need a timeline roundup, because now they were just now in 2016. Now we're all the way in 2021. It's just a bunch of stuff getting read in. It's different types of text messages, group chats, exchanges of messages between people. Now we're looking at one between Christina Karam and Diddy from November 2021. Diddy asked Christina Karam if the room was ready, and she said she didn't want the hotel to know it was him to avoid any, quote, unneeded charges. Christina Karam responded that Diddy should wait to go into the room until after Jane and Joey got there. So Joey was going to be there, and then so was Jane, and they were saying, Diddy, you need to wait. Diddy's former assistant, Jonathan Perez, previously testified that another one of Diddy's assistants' names was Joey. So there's a bunch of assistants, y'all. And I'm sure he actually did need a lot of assistants, because otherwise you're going to have one of them working around the clock and going 5 days with no sleep. So there's Jonathan, there's Ryan, there's Joey, there's Brendan. This seems to be all pretty much the same time, too. After Diddy was in the room, then Christina Karam texted him, hotel called, Paul coming up. Now, Jane previously testified that she and Diddy would often have hotel nights with a man named Paul, and he was not only an escort, but he was also a personal trainer for Diddy. Let's go to the Washington Post. I want to get caught up with what they're doing over there. Kanye was there. We knew. We got that. An hour ago, Diddy spent Sunday in the MDC. His two sons posted social media messages wishing him a happy Father's Day. I wonder if that was orchestrated by him, like his birthday post. That's what I want to know. Both sons have been regular attendees at their dad's trial, where he has pleaded not guilty to charges of ST, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in P. Maybe Diddy is this one's dad. He's licking his lips like he is. That's what Diddy used to be doing all the time. Okay, 1 hour ago, Ann Brannigan, Washington Post. It's week 6 of the Diddy trial, and the government has indicated that it plans to rest its racketeering and ST case against Diddy this week. On Friday, Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey said prosecutors could finish as early as the day after tomorrow. Most of the people the government plans to put on the stand this week are summary witnesses, which means their primary role will be to talk jurors through a slew of records, including text messages. As of Friday afternoon, there was only one anticipated witness who had a personal relationship with Diddy, and that was Brendan Paul, a former assistant, and he may take the stand today. Okay, let's see. Juror number 6 dismissed. The credibility was called into question. Inconsistencies in his statements. 41-year-old works at correctional facility, told the courts during jury selection he lived in the Bronx with his fiance and daughter. But after an offhand comment made to a jury service staffer and further questioning by the judge, it was revealed that his girlfriend and daughter live in New Jersey. He sometimes lived with his aunt in the Bronx. He also gave different answers as to which home was his primary residence. The judge was going to get rid of this guy Friday. But the defense pushed back against the dismissal of a black juror. The record raised serious concerns as to the juror's candor, said the judge, adding that it was concerning that juror 6 appeared to be shading his answers to try and remain on the jury, a big red flag for the court. The judge also quoted the defense's own words back to it. And this is funny because the motion that they made this weekend, Diddy's team and them, it was repeating a lot of the judge's words back to him. It was quoting him a lot, and it was putting all his words in like bold and italics and stuff. And the judge is like, okay, so you can play that game, stupid. He quoted the defense's own words back to it, that this jury was already among the most diverse to ever serve in the district. Juror number 6 is excused, the judge said. He will be replaced by the first alternate juror. The government has called its first witness, Ananya Sankar, a paralegal specialist who will help walk the jury through a chart of evidence the government has compiled. 29 minutes ago, a chart being presented to the jury focuses on documents involving Christina Karam, documents and communications. These include text and audio messages retrieved from various cell phones as well as audio files. She's a vital part of the government's racketeering case against Diddy. This is Karam, KK. She's one of the people the prosecutors have painted as a participant in the Combs enterprise, which they contend conspired to protect Diddy's reputation and cover up his alleged crimes. One minute ago, Anne Brannigan, Washington Post, the government has been picking its way through a 33-page chart showing conversations with Christina Karam, the chief of staff for Diddy, and conversations she had with multiple individuals all the way since 2016. In correspondence with Diddy, his assistants, his girlfriends, Cassie and Jane, KK appeared to be setting up hotels for her boss's freak-offs, as well as coordinating the delivery of thousands of dollars in cash. One set of messages from 2019 seemed to refer to the Cowboys and Angels, a service Diddy and his partners, his girlfriends, used to recruit men to participate in the freak-offs. Per testimony from Ventura and Jane, who's using court-approved alias. By the way, how long is he going to stay awake? KK asked in one message to Diddy's assistant. Diddy's ex-girlfriends have said that the freak-offs typically lasted 24 to 48 hours. One new update from NBCnews.com 2 minutes ago. Escorts were common in the Combs world, text messages show. Diddy's frequent employment of male escorts for marathon sex sessions became a bit of a running joke among his employees. According to testimony earlier in the trial, Diddy and his former girlfriend Cassie frequently hired the service Cowboys for Angels. Diddy's assistant Ryan Lopez texted Christina Karam December 2019, LOL, I think I saw one of the Cowboys today. You can spot him in a lobby like an escort. I forgot to tell you about it. KK texted back 4 laughing emojis. By the way, how long is he going to stay awake? LOL, I'm guessing until tomorrow night. They laughed. 2 minutes ago, jury sees texts showing Diddy's staff discussed high hotel damage charges. The jury was shown messages that KK sent to Jane and Diddy Valentine's Day weekend 2022 about a hotel room. One of KK's messages said in part, here's a quote, your damage charges on the one hotel are always high. KK later sent a message to Jane, who dated Diddy from 2021 to 2024, telling her, quote, ask if they can bring up like 15 bath towels. Jane texted KK saying Diddy always brought cash and asked if his security could bring around $5,000 to $10,000. KK later texted Diddy saying, Jane asked if you could bring $5,000 to $10,000 cash. It's all in your safe. Okay, so now we're bringing in the safe. Let's go back to Inner City Press. Okay. So they're just reading in different messages. So the assistant U.S. attorney goes, okay, going ahead in time. Okay, who is this between? Okay, so objection to going ahead in time. All right, so rephrase the question. I withdraw the question. Okay. Who are these messages between? And the expert said Diddy and KK. They say Guido hasn't dropped off the package yet. Now, who's Guido? We heard yesterday Guido is the substance dealer. He the plug. Okay, and what does KK write to Diddy here? She writes Guido outside, and Diddy replies with an audio message. Play the audio message, please. Okay, Diddy sounds hoarse, and he says, about Guido. Take care of it, please. And what does KK respond? KK responds, done. Do some of these messages involve Cassie Ventura? Yes. Hold on. Do some of these messages involve Cassie Ventura? Yes, they do. Okay, let's go to page 5, May 2nd, 2017. What are these? These are text messages between Cassie and KK. Okay, what do they say? Well, Cassie says, WTF. And KK says, are you okay? And Cassie says, no one deserves to be dragged by their hair. This is Cassie texting the chief of staff. This is trying to, I think, prove this was common knowledge among Diddy's staff that everyone knew he was violent. I think that's what they're trying to show. Okay, so now they're moving forward. Now, this is just a series of texts, a bunch of text messages from different times, but they all relate to KK. That's the one thing they all have in common is they're all from KK communications. Cassie and KK, more text message conversation from 2018, the next year. So Cassie says, I just can't anymore. KK said, I'm here for you, heart emoji. Cassie says, I'm bummed, but don't want to derail. So 2018, this is the year she finally did break up with Diddy. KK said, yeah, definitely. Don't derail. It's not worth it. So saying like, don't bother Diddy with your little personal issues. He has other things to deal with. Don't derail. Again, I really think this is wrapping KK so much more up with the scheme because it's showing like she does know there's hitting. She knows there's escorts. She knows there's substances. She's dropping off money. We have another new text message we have another new update from NBCnews.com. Texts show Diddy asking staff to obtain 15 pills of Molly Ann for him. Diddy asked his employees to pick up illegal substances for him in 2022, according to text messages entered into evidence. Prosecutors reviewed the messages between Diddy and Christina Karam and the head of Diddy's security, which is Fahim Muhammad. Now, if you did not know this Fahim Muhammad was on the scene when Michael Jackson lost his life. Now, that death was eventually ruled a homicide. So, not by Fahim, but, just in general, kind of strange. But now he's Diddy's chief of staff. So this is messages between Diddy, KK, and Fahim, who's the head of security for Diddy. This is from 2022. In the messages, Christina Karam asks Diddy what Fahim needs to pick up before they fly to Miami. And he texts 15 pills of Molly Ann. Okay. Then he instructs KK not to text him about it. But he's texting about it. Stupid. The government highlighted several messages from Diddy's chief of staff, KK, referring to a person named Guido, who prior witnesses have named as one of Diddy's dealers of choice. These messages included a reference to picking up a Guido package, or in one case, KK telling Diddy himself, Guido outside. Interesting. So we're back to Inner City Press, and they're still just going through different text messages. So now they just got finished going through KK's messages with different people. Diddy messages with assistants, messages with Cassie. Messages, with assistants. So now they're going to turn to Jane Doe's text messages. You read as Jane. Okay. Jane says, we got into a fight. I'm not doing hotel night. I'll bring him a cake. What's the date of this filing? November 16th. Okay. So this is Cassie's lawsuit. All right. They're just flying through, y'all. They're just going through a bunch of different stuff. So what's this? This is Cassie's lawsuit. What's the date of the filing? November 16th, 2023. Cool. Great. What are these? These are audio files from 3 days after Cassie's lawsuit, November 19th, 2023. What are they about? Setting up a flight for Jane. Okay. What is this? It's flight information for Paul, the assistant / freak off guy. The one who texted Jane saying, let's hook up, let's meet up or whatever, whenever Diddy was like, oh, you're going to have to text her. This is him. Flight information from Jessica Ruiz to KK. Okay. Who's the flight information for? It's for Paul, the freak off guy. Okay. What's the next message? Can you pick up the cash for Guido at Mapleton? So pick up the cash for the plug at the LA address. And then Jane says, yes, I can pick up the cash. So these are just more text messages showing money is being exchanged for substances, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. What are these? These are audio files from 2 days after the Cassie lawsuit. Okay, great. And what do they say? What is the audio? Can you please play it? Play the audio for the jury and the gallery to hear. It's Diddy's voice, 2023. We can't really talk on this phone. You know what I'm saying? I called, I reached out. You know what I'm saying? My love is definitely true. Just some kinky stuff I thought we definitely enjoyed. Okay, right. So this is the cleanup. This is like 2 days after, 3 days, excuse me. 3 days after Cassie's lawsuit hits, he's on the voice notes to Jane talking about, I thought we both liked it, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? But I can't talk on this phone and all that. So, okay. 1 minute ago, CNN.com, jury shown texts where Diddy requested 15 Molly Ann's from security. These are text messages between KK and Diddy and one of his guards. Fahim, Puff, can you text Fahim what you need him to pick up before his flight to Miami? Molly Ann, 15 pills. But he responded that he already told her, and KK said he didn't give the final information. He said, Molly Ann, 15 pills. The jury saw a message that Fahim Muhammad sent to Diddy, KK, and Diddy's account manager. See, they not saying Robin Greenhill. They not saying Robin Greenhill, but I'll say it because we were told yesterday, or excuse me, Friday, that the account manager is Robin Greenhill. Okay, so let me make sure that CNN isn't running cover for TriStar Sports and Entertainment. 8,400 people in this chat. I'm gonna let y'all know this account manager. Her name's Robin Denise Greenhill, and she works at TriStar Sports and Entertainment. CNN might not tell you, but I will. Diddy responded, he already told KK. He's like, I already told you this. And she's like, no, you didn't. You didn't give me the final info. Molly, 15 pills. Don't text me about it no more. The jury then saw a message that Fahim Muhammad sent to Diddy, KK, and Robin Greenhill in 2023. Quote, just gave $5K to Brendan for hotel, Fahim said. Why we running cover for Robin Greenhill, I want to know. I want to know. Okay. So this is where we left off on Inner City Press. It was Diddy doing a voice note. I really can't talk on this phone. You know what I'm saying? I called, I reached out. You know what I'm saying? My love is definitely true. Just some kinky I thought we were definitely both enjoying. And then Jane says, I don't know. Her voice cracks. It's like word for word. It's like crazy to me. It feels sick. But like, you know, okay, they turn it off. Next, can you play the next one? Yep, it's Diddy. I really need your friendship right now. Don't send no text. I really need your friendship right now. Don't send no text. 1 minute ago, NBC News, no one deserves to be dragged by their hair. Cassie told Diddy's top aide in a text. In a May 2nd, 2017 text from Cassie to KK, Cassie said, quote, no one deserves to be dragged by their hair following an alleged attack by Diddy. A concerned KK asked Cassie if she was okay. Cassie responded she didn't know why Diddy was acting out, but that she needed to stay focused on her career. Just now, Anne Brannigan, Washington Post. In 2017, Cassie sent a message to Diddy's chief of staff. So suggesting Diddy had just dragged her by the hair and that she didn't feel safe. WTF. Cassie said to KK. KK asked if Cassie was okay. Cassie said, no, but you should talk to him. I'm sure you don't want to get involved, but no one deserves being dragged by their hair, she sent in a follow-up text. I don't have my stuff. I don't even have money. I'm effed, Cassie messaged KK. I'll try to talk to him when he's up, said KK. Okay, we get more recorded audio. I just needed to tell you I need your friendship. Baby, I got to meet my moms. You know what I'm saying? Please pray for me. Jane said, okay, and they turned off the audio. 3 days later, what are these? Oh, it's KK. KK writes, we all know you're kryptonite. Ooh, what's the kryptonite, girl? Okay, let me, put some of the stuff on this web and get that going. So this is Paul Arthur Jr., freak off worker, also personal trainer, also texted Jane, persuading her, also Shaq in the trifecta. Okay, then we got Christina Karam. Diddy, former chief of staff. And then she's also like a possible co-defendant or whatever. Okay. Robin enters the chat. But this is the one we already saw, heard about, I should say. So Diddy says, please make sure the rent is paid. KK said, Robin said the rent was paid. What's this? This is an image found on KK's phone, December 28th, 2023. It's a photo of a cell phone screen. It says, I lost work opportunities. Two minutes ago, CNN is now updating about the hair dragging incident. Cassie to KK, no one deserves being dragged by their hair. The jury saw messages between Diddy, chief of staff, and Christina Karam. Messages between KK, Christina Karam, and Cassie from May 2017. This is about 1 year after the Intercontinental Hotel incident. Cassie texted KK, WTF. And then KK asked if she was okay. And Cassie said, no, but you should talk to him. No one deserves being dragged by their hair. I locked my door for safety. She added she didn't have her belongings or any money. KK responded she would try to talk to Diddy and help Cassie get her stuff. Okay, so we're still looking at a photo of So there's an image. It's a picture in evidence. It's a picture of a cell phone screen. So someone took a picture of a phone. And it says, I lost work opportunities. You broke me. You asked me what I needed to move on, and now you're upset. Who are these text messages between now? Okay, these next ones, these are between Jane and Christina Karam. So Jane tells KK. So Jane, one of the alleged victims in this case, she testified for like 6 days. We heard about this before, but now we're just seeing it come up again in this chart. He said he would send the tapes to my baby's dad. I'm traumatized. He asked me who I'm seeing over and over again. Over and over again. Diddy's like, who are you seeing, Jane? Who are you seeing? Who are you seeing? I'm going to send these tapes. I'm going to send these tapes to your baby's father. Okay. And remember the foundation of this case. This is the independent, but remember, Diddy was arrested as federal authorities alleged he threatened, abused, and coerced victims to, quote, fulfill his sexual desires. Okay. Between 2004 and 2024, over a 20-year period, he's denied all allegations of wrongdoing. The rug mule is set to testify today, and the judge is supposed to rule on dismissing another juror. Summary witness. The judge is expected to make a final determination on juror 6. No, he already did that. Waiting on the sidelines. So I guess they're not really like up to date. Juror number 6 replaced. Okay, yeah, no, they got. Okay, hold on. Diddy got Father's Day wishes from his sons. 2 of them, Christian and Justin, who have both been present. Happy Father's Day, Pops. Thanks for giving me the light. Give me life and always being president. Supposed to be present? It's very strange. My superhero. I'm with you forever, no matter what. Miss you, love you. Justin Combs wrote in an Instagram story. Meanwhile, Christian just shared a throwback image of him and Diddy writing, Happy Father's Day, Pops. I love you and miss you. We waiting for you at home. Yeah, well, y'all going to be waiting for a while, I think. 48 minutes ago, paralegal specialist called to the stand. Ananya Sankar, paralegal specialist for the Southern District of New York, will walk jurors through a chart of evidence the government has collected. The juror 6 was replaced. Whatever this means, he's been tipped to return, so he's going to come back. Kanye West is apparently going to be coming back to court, if that's what this means. Look, like Friday's session saw fellow hip-hop star Kanye West make a surprise appearance at the courthouse in a show of support for the defendant, and he's been tipped to return in week 6. So he's going to come back next week? Okay. So the most recent thing we were reading on Inner City Press was a series of communications between KK and Jane. Okay, so Jane, again, another alleged victim. We don't, know her name, although, there's a lot of speculation. Please don't do that in my chat. It's not allowed. But Jane was saying to KK, and remember, Jane and KK don't get along. They did not get along. They did not like each other. So KK and Jane are texting each other, and Jane is like, he said he was going to send tapes to my baby daddy. I'm traumatized. He asked me who I'm seeing over and over again. He said he's going to send those tapes to the father of my child. I am on them, drugged. I am beyond hurt by him. What does KK say in response? KK just says, I haven't spoken with him. Okay, what about these photos of a cell phone? Can you read them? Yeah. This is Jane. She said, you have effed everything up. You win. What are these? These are videos. So they're moving on. So they were going back and forth. What are these? These are videos found on KK's device. Okay, play it. It's a woman's voice saying, like $1,000. What's in this photo? It's like a long manicured nail. We also have ABC giving live updates today, which is new. Well, not like completely, but they don't always have, they don't always have live updates. Prosecution could rest their case this week. Judge upholds decision to dismiss the juror. Oh, we got some quotes here. This is nice. Okay, so we got some quotes about what the judge said about the juror. Quote, the record raised serious concerns as to the juror's candor, like basically his like honesty, and whether he's shaded answers to get on and stay on the jury, the judge said. The quote goes on. There's nothing the juror can say at this point to put the genie back in the bottle. The judge said he took seriously the defense's concern about race, but he said the jury does not raise those concerns. This jury does not raise those concerns. He also said it is inappropriate to consider race in deciding whether the juror's responses to questions about where he lived were accurate. At the conclusion of court on Friday, the judge had already dismissed the juror over what he said were inconsistencies. He said the alleged inconsistencies raised questions about the juror's candor, his ability to follow instructions, and also deceit and honesty at this point. The summary witnesses are going to help the jury organize the hundreds of exhibits they've seen so far. We've been told it's possible that Yay will make another appearance early this week, just as he did on Friday. But the last substantive witness for the prosecution is expected to be a former assistant to Diddy, Brendan Paul. Prosecutors have said they expect to rest their case as soon as Wednesday, but no later than Friday. There will be no court proceedings on Thursday because it is Juneteenth. Working on my little web over here. Yeah, okay. So then let's get up Cassie. We need Jane. I'm going to put them on the top here. Thanks so much to Spur Innovation Center. I'm only popping in here quickly. Check DMs later regarding an issue we both know needs to be addressed. Working on something. Oh, girl, I don't know what in the hell you talking about. Thank you for the $9.99. Looking forward to seeing what you talking about. Thank you, Sheena, becoming a member. I thought you were already a member. Shout out to you. Thank you, DJ Spin, for the $49.99. BJ, you're doing an excellent job covering this case. Your outlook and your voice are amazing. Sounding so good. God bless. and keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that very generous super chat. Shout out to you for that $49.99. Thank you so much. Let's see, just going on a little, I'll show y'all what I got so far. I just started doing this morning on live while I was doing it. This is the reason why I haven't done it yet. So I got KK and put her at the top. This is the Diddy web, so there's already like, a lot going on here, but I'm just going to start the witnesses up here, or like the relevant ones anyway for now. This is Paul, CSA, Paul, freak off worker, P. Diddy personal trainer, texted Jane persuading her. He's also Shaq in the trifecta. And of course we got Cassie. I just put her picture on there. We got Christina Karam, KK, former chief of staff, possible co-defendant ? I don't know if she is or not. I need to put Robin up on there. And then I'll connect a line to, already got like a Lou Taylor over here. See, Stonebridge investment. We got the Stonebridge investment here. Lou Taylor in high school. The Davamos family. That's like the people who she was working for, apparently. Then there's the possible connections to private prisons. I know everybody knows this one. Secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation. There's Diddy, there's Kim Kardashian, there's Joe Francis, Big Joe Sherman, Mark Lata, because remember her right there, Tanea, we keep seeing her come up over and over and over again. She claims she went to a Diddy freak off and a Prince of Brunei wanted to take her back somewhere or something. I don't really know. She said, I don't know. Got Drewski. Anyway, so we're up here for now. What is this? Lumen. Oh yeah. This whole thing. Oh God. Yeah. One day I'm gonna make a video about this, but the Lumen logo looks like exactly like this Wackenhut. The Wackenhut Corporation is a security services company founded in Florida, which that was where Lou Taylor first started working, Boca Raton. 3 partners, all of which were former FBI agents. The company was largely associated with the U.S. government and military and had alleged ties to the CIA. And then it's one of the companies that made the most profits off of the 1994 crime bill. This information all came from Whitney Webb. I keep telling y'all, you need to go read that one label under Blackmail. It's free. But like, here's this like company that made all this money off private prisons, the crime bill, and then that goes straight to Core Civic. This is Brentwood, Tennessee. Anyway, so all that to say, we're up here. I need to make this into saying Cassie Ventura Fine. Let's see. Diddy GF from what, 2007 to 2018. Okay. So I'll put her more like up here because she came earlier in the chronology. I always have to end up like kind of moving these all around and stuff, like just to make sure that everything's the right size. All right. So that'll be that for right now. Let's go back to our updates. Jennifer Daigle, probably my cousin. I'm related to some Daigles, I think. Thanks so much for that $2 super chat. I can't stop thinking about Gatorade and Kim Porter. Me too. She did have the Gatorade there. And also, y'all, I want to make a whole video about this, but it did come out that Jonathan Perez, the one who testified most recently, the assistant, it was asked specifically, and I got this from the transcript because Rabbit read the transcript and I was listening to her, but specifically the prosecution asked, why did you set up these IVs? Why were you doing IVs? And, why would you do that after freak-offs for the people that were in the freak-offs? Why would you do that? And he said specifically the IVs were to, quote, put them to sleep, make them go to sleep. That is not what I thought those IVs were for. Usually the IVs are for like, fluids, rehydration. Maybe you'll get a little NAD drip. Maybe you'll get some vitamins. But he said they were giving them IVs to put them to sleep, which brings me directly back to Michael Jackson. He died because somebody was giving him some sort of sedative intravenously or intramuscularly. It's starting to scare me. Thanks so much to No for the $4.99. More evidence of co-conspirators today. No immunity deals for Robin, TriStar, and KK. I bet the government plans to call them soon. I wonder. I do wonder. I doubt the government is going to call them because the government said they only have 4 more people to call after this lady. 3 of them are special summary witnesses, or what? 2 are summary witnesses. 1 is a special agent, and then 1 is an assistant. I think the government's not going to call them because they would plead the 5th. So the government doesn't want to give them immunity. I do wonder if Diddy is going to call them. Thank for that $4.99. Somebody needs to investigate somebody, and somebody needs to go to jail. That's all I know. Jedi mind trick. I want to know, was Fahim put there by TriStar too? What is the relation, if any, with Corey Gamble? I don't know. Yeah, he did. He died from propofol intoxication, but this is something that is like isn't it like a benzo or like a barbiturate or whatever? It like slows your functions down. I've seen Mark Laita's girlfriend died and he allegedly found her in a bathtub. Looks suspicious to me, but I'm looking forward to seeing the autopsy results. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Or the 5 CMF, Jenny. It's an anesthesia. And you know what they use? A similar anesthesia like that, like a anesthesia type thing, for the zombification, for those y'all keeping up at home about the zombification updates. And this is done by like, specifically Haitian voodoo practitioners. But what I think is very interesting is, like, remember Young Thug's co-defendant was sacrificing a goat to the Iwas. The Iwas are voodoo. Okay, that's like what it is. Iwa or Iwa. It just depends who's pronouncing. But he was sacrificing a goat to Iwa. This is Young Thug's like co-defendant. So this is like something that's absolutely going on in Hollywood somewhere, somehow. It is a legitimate, like, existing like religion. Like the whole entire of Haiti, their religion, their national religion is voodoo. It does appear similar to Roman Catholicism and stuff like that, but like they have like equated, and it's not their fault. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it in and of itself. I think like voodoo is just fine of a religion, but like they have these practitioners within it that are doing things that are horrible, like making people think they died and came back to life and now they don't have a soul, and zombifying them and using them as like, drugging them, burying them alive, raising them from the dead. I mean, it's just all this crazy stuff. And it brings me back to Dahlia Takali saying all her mom does is traffic her and kill her, resurrect her, kill her, resurrect her, kill her, resurrect her. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing right now. I'll never know, because I ain't going to be practicing any of that crazy shit. No, thank you. 5 minutes ago, we have NBCnews.com. And again, y'all, this is not like, please don't make it, take this as if it's like anyone who says that they're like a voodoo practitioner is doing this stuff. It's like a specific thing within it. And it's like, I'm not trying to say everything about voodoo is crazy, because it seems like just like every other religion in some ways, where it's like everybody worships the same one God. There's like different, ways to communicate with God, all that. That's all fine and good. All right. But I'm telling you one thing, all this black magic stuff of it really is real. Like, I'm not saying it's real like it works. I'm saying it's real like people do believe it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. And it might not be real, but it's like a placebo effect. Everybody that runs a medical trial has to go through placebo. Like, you have to account for the placebo effect, because the human mind is extremely powerful. And especially when it comes to our own existence and our own health. And so if people are thinking that it is possible to be turned into a zombie, which these people would be thinking that because they are from the culture where that would be what they would be thinking, all I'm saying is just do some research. 6 minutes ago, Diddy's chief of staff knew Diddy blackmailed or threatened to blackmail, according to text messages. Prosecutors showed messages Jane shared with Christina Karam in December 2023, stating that Diddy threatened, so Jane, right? Jane, this is just recently, like 2 years ago, 2.5. Not even actually, 1.5 years ago. This is the month after Cassie's lawsuit was filed. Said Diddy threatened to expose S tapes. This appears to show that Diddy's chief of staff was aware of the blackmail threats to this victim, alleged victim. In the message, Jane wrote that Diddy was threatening to show the tapes in which she was heavily drugged to the father of her baby. Jane wrote she was traumatized by her time with Diddy and was filled with emotion. KK told Jane she had not seen Diddy in 2 days, but would call her. An audio file of a conversation between Diddy and Jane after Cassie's lawsuit was revealed to the public, was played as well. And Jane previously told the court that she was unaware that the conversation was recorded. She was distraught, telling Diddy that the lawsuit felt word for word like what her experience had been, and it made her sick to her stomach. She testified earlier in the trial that she felt Diddy exploited her for hotel nights, and she thought Diddy used paying her rent as a tool to control her. We have 2 new updates from Washington Post. 8 minutes ago, messages sent to Diddy's chief of staff suggest that she was aware that Jane, the ex-girlfriend, felt mistreated and sexually exploited and didn't want to participate in any more freak-offs or hotel nights. The ex, who testified last week under the pseudonym Jane, sent KK messages in early November 2023 saying that she wanted no more hotel nights. So it was KK. It was Jane saying to KK, I don't want any more hotel nights. I just can't. Then, okay, so that came before Cassie's lawsuit. Then Cassie's lawsuit was filed. Diddy himself appeared to forward screenshots of text messages he received from Jane by saying she felt extremely exploited, heartbroken, and manipulated by him. So Diddy took pictures of those and then forwarded them to somebody, himself or KK or someone. He also appeared to send KK audio files of phone calls that he recorded with Jane. So he recorded phone calls with Jane, and then Diddy, sent them to KK. Jane told Diddy that the lawsuit described, like, word for word, her own experience. I also think it's telling that Diddy's like, I can't talk on this phone. I can't talk on this phone. What's in this photo? A long manicured nail. So what I think they're trying to show is that it's Christina Karam holding Diddy's phone. This is Diddy's phone. Okay. And let me find another phone. What can pretend to be a phone? This will be the other phone. Okay. So this is KK's phone right here. Okay. It's like, this is KK's phone. This is Diddy's phone. There's a text on Diddy's phone. Here's KK's phone. KK's holding the phone in her hand like this and takes a picture with her phone of Diddy's phone. Okay. So that's what we're being told here. So that's the long manicured nail. That's KK's nail, allegedly. That's what the government is trying to say. Okay, let's move to the next one. What does KK write? KK wrote, they just chilling at his house, out to shop like King Knight mode or Gucci bag mode. LOL. Okay, so the Gucci bag is obviously now established as the one that held the substances. They even recovered a Gucci pouch from Diddy's, the raid at, I think, Miami. We also heard Jonathan Perez testify about the Gucci bag, there's stuff in the Balenciaga bag that should only never leave the Gucci bag and all that. So KK said they just chilling at his house. Out to shop like King Knight mode or Gucci bag mode? Well, King Knight and Gucci bag mode seemed like the same one. The assistant U.S. attorney said, okay, let's take a short break. It's 15 minutes ago, so they're probably about to be coming back any minute. Oh, we got a lot of updates from CNN, excuse me. 3 updates from CNN. 1 minute ago, Jane was threatened about S tapes she wrote to Diddy staffer. The jury listened to 2 recordings, which the prosecution says were found on KK's devices. These are recordings of phone calls between Diddy and Jane, his girlfriend at the time, and this was just days after Cassie's lawsuit was filed in November 2023. The jury first heard the recorded calls during Jane's testimony. So these have already been introduced. The jury already knew about these. The messages came after Cassie's lawsuit, in which Cassie accused Diddy of R and physical abuse. In the calls, which Jane testified she didn't know were recorded, Jane and Diddy talked about the lawsuit. The jury also saw photos that the prosecution says were recovered from Christina Karam's device that showed messages on another phone. These messages were taken about a month and a week after the lawsuit. Cassie's lawsuit was originally filed. December 28th, 2023. I don't believe the lovey-dovey stuff. This is a quote. You don't need to go there for me. I was confused and couldn't concentrate for 3 years, and I feel extremely exploited, heartbroken, and manipulated by you. One of the messages said, in part, quote, you're the only opportunist here. You exploited the F out of me. You win. 3 years of being used by you, and you had 3 years of fun with my body. Messages in the other photos said. Jane previously testified she sent those messages to Diddy. So why were they on KK's phone? A few hours after those photos were taken, Jane texted KK saying he just threatened me about my S tapes that he has of me on 2 phones. He said that he would expose me and send them to my child's father. Jury sees texts between Diddy's staff discussing King stuff. Okay. The jury saw text messages, this is CNN.com, between Christina Karam and Diddy. Wait, hold on. Between Christina Karam and Brendan Paul. This is the alleged so-called rug mule. In the messages, Brendan keeps KK informed as he escorts Diddy to Jane's house. So Brendan Paul is driving Diddy to Jane's house, and he's updating KK all the whole way. KK warned this assistant, Brendan Paul, Diddy might need King stuff, potentially. While Diddy is with Jane, okay. So Diddy ends up getting dropped off to be with Jane. And then the assistant, Brendan Paul, texts Christina Karam and says, Diddy's just going with the flow. KK says, LOL, okay. So basically he's lit. And he's like, no, he isn't lit. And then later he texts her back again. This is the assistant, Brendan Paul, the rug mule, the one that was arrested. He played like soccer or football or something for Syracuse and all that. He was arrested like same time as Diddy, trying to get on a plane, but then he got maybe acquitted or pled down or diversion program or something. So that's him, but he was Diddy's assistant at the time. He says, PD active now. I don't know what that means. Running to Walmart now. And then KK said, Wild King mode active or Gucci bag active? He said in between the two, if that makes sense. Reminder, a Combs assistant previously described King nights as going to a hotel to have a private time with a female. 15 minutes ago, they had a break. I need to get a picture of Brendan Paul and put him in here. on my web. Okay, let's do clusters. I'll do assistants. Let's do these up here. I'll do clusters of people. I want the girlfriends over here. And I want the assistants over here. This one was around the same time as Jane. Okay, I'll show y'all what I'm doing. So I'm making this web to make it easier to explain like what's going on. So this is KK and she's texting this guy right here, Brendan. I'm putting Cassie over here. And I need to put a Jane. Let's see if I can put a sticker on here. Yeah, let's just go Jane. We'll call this Jane. Okay, she dated Diddy GF from 2021 to 2024. Okay, now I want to make our little, I want to put a line here between Jane and Paul, because they were part of the trifecta. Remember that? Trifecta. Okay, there's two parts of the trifecta, and she was apparently which one was she? Kobe. All right, so now we're starting to build up our little web here. Let's see, Brendan Paul. Diddy assistant from, I don't know, like 2022 to 2024-ish. All right, he was also allegedly the rug mule. Remember that? Okay, so here we're starting to get here. So we saw text messages between Christina Karam and Jane. We saw text messages between Cassie and Christina Karam. We saw text messages between them and Diddy himself, which I'm gonna put up here. Okay. I'll just put him here for now. We also need to put a Robin Greenhill. Web building in real time. I know. Teresa said, what's going on? This is something I have been promising to do for pretty much since I started covering this case. But it's like, as you can see, a little bit time consuming, a little bit tedious. Let's make him a little bigger. But I think like it is easier. Like when I make videos that, like normally before I started covering this trial, when I would make videos, I would often use like a web like this, because it's easier to say like, okay, this person texts this person, this person broke up with this type of thing. But as you're building them, it can be kind of time consuming because you got to move stuff around as you add new stuff. And so it makes sense and, all that stuff. So there's that. But, yeah, visual learner here as well. Yeah, I try to be organized. Thank you so much to Mark Girl Felisa for the $5 super chat. The jury is on a break, so I figured that was a good a time as any. Thank you, Linda, for the $2 super chat. Linda Gorman with your blue lipstick. Shout out to you. I absolutely love your webbing charts. Thanks so much. Thank you, Jennifer. Can't stop thinking about Gatorade. I know. Thank you, Jenny, for the 10 CHF. Jenny Sescon. Thanks so much, Brittany Shameless, for the $1.99. If Diddy calls them to testify, can they refuse? Well, I think they... Okay, so they can be subpoenaed to testify. And then if they don't testify, then the judge can make them testify. But if they're being charged at all, they don't have to testify. They have to be given an immunity order if they're under, at risk of being charged or at risk of being, facing criminal charges for this. And they are at risk. They do look like they wind right in there. As an enterprise. Thank you so much for that $1.99. Nat, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Nat said opinion. Yay, showing up was him sending a message to Diddy. Watch what you say and your next move. This wasn't for support. Yay has been vocal in the past about Lou Taylor. That's why he wasn't allowed in. Well, I'm wondering, has Diddy flipped on Lou Taylor? Thank you for that $9.99. Could TriStar own and rent properties Diddy paid? Yes, that is what I'm asking, Virginia. How did she find this apartment, this house? Who is paying for it? Does TriStar own it? Does TriStar's friend own it? Maybe not, but it's something I am wondering. Shout out to you, member, for 9 months. Shout out to Sheena, member for 2 months. I was a member, lost my card, had to resub. So glad to be here, especially since BJ knows what's really up. I mean, I don't really, but I'm just making guesses. Thank you so much to Proud Army Mom. Thank you so much to your child for their service, Carrie. Shout out to you becoming a member. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lori Ingram, for the $4.99. Is KK a plant? I don't know. I haven't here. I'm wondering why she was so belligerent with putting some of this stuff in there, Lori. Thank you for the $4.99. Thank you, Mark, again for that $5 super chat. Web is webbing. But web is webbing. Shout out to Heal with Nona Black TV for the $9.99. Thank you for all you do. Love the web diagram. Thank you. This is like kind of my like specialty. I kind of like, this is like, I really love doing these. So it just helps me understand everything better. Over here, we have the Joe Sherman webbing. I tried to tell everybody about this. They tried to Britney Spears, this football player. Y'all know Jack Rabbit, Janoris Jenkins? Do y'all know who this is? I think he's retired now. But he almost didn't even go play on the Rams even after he got drafted because they were trying to force him, Jeff Fisher, according to him, according to Janoris Jenkins, they were trying to force him to use this woman for his managing his money. And he didn't want to do that. Anyway, I should have started a new web so I could stop getting so distracted. Heal with Nana Black TV. Thank you so much for that super chat. Caroline said, I don't think that's why Ye showed up. I think he's just a narcissist. He wanted everyone to know he was there. Mimi Lightseer said, I love when the web gets to webbing so we can see all of the lies and collusion. Listen, innocent until proven guilty. Let's see if they've come back from the break. They gave the jurors a break. Okay, they're back. Next question after the break. What does this exhibit show? Well, this is messages between Diddy and D-Rock. Now, D-Rock's real name is Damian Butler. People have thought that this means that one of Diddy's butlers is going to be brought up. No. This is D-Rock. He was in security for Diddy. So what does this exhibit show? It shows messages of Diddy and D-Rock and also Mia. Now, Mia was another assistant. So maybe this is a fifth assistant. Mia was another assistant. Okay, turn the screens off and turn the screens off to the public and the press. So they're going to show a hidden secret exhibit. Okay, but that gives me time to put Mia. Let me make a poll. I'm going to make a poll in the chat real quick about when I'm going to make the web. Would y'all rather see me like making the web? Or wait, no, that's not what I want to go to. I want to go to this. Would y'all rather see me making the web? Or would you rather me just leave up whatever's on the screen? I'm not making any promises about, what I'm going to do, but I do want your input for once. I'm going to do a poll. Okay, so what's my question? My question is, when I'm doing web work, TM, everyone's about to start saying the web is webbing, and I'm not going to get credit for creating it. After all of the abuse I've suffered from saying the web is webbing, I'm not even going to get credit for it. While I'm doing web work, show it or wait till finished. Web work, not root work, okay? I don't do that. Oh, I did it wrong. Hold on. Let me remove this in the poll. Hold on. I did it wrong. When I'm doing webbing, drafting, I'll say that. You want to see or just wait till finished? See. Wait. The poll's not up yet, Kale. Okay. So we'll do that. Goodbye on that, which I'll vote on that. Again, I mean, it might be 100%. We don't want to see it, and I might still do it, but I just want to take a poll. It's just for vote in the poll. Vote in the poll. Vote in the poll. Everybody, vote in the poll. Vote in the poll. Vote in the poll. Okay, we're back to Inner City Press. Please read D-Rock's messages. Okay, D-Rock said, "Love you, man. If you need a friend, I'm here. I'll call you back. Talking to the kids." Wait, let me start making also a list of who I need to put in the web. That would help. Because y'all, I mean, I have a really good memory, but I prefer to not have to use it. Like, I like stuff just written out right there. Don't have to recall it in my mind. So I'm going to go D-Rock needs to be on there. Mia needs to be on there. Definitely got to put Lou Taylor on there. Definitely got to put Robin on there. Okay. Please read D-Rock's messages. D-Rock said, "Love you, man. If you need a friend, I'm here." Diddy said, "I'll call you back. Talking to the kids." Okay. Then Mia said, "Where are you?" No. Sorry. Excuse me. This is different. This is like a lot of text messages all over the place, y'all. Please read D-Rock's messages. Okay. "Love you, man. If you need a friend, I'm here." That's to Diddy. Diddy texts him back, "I'll call you back. Talking to the kids." Then D-Rock to Mia, "Where are you?" Now, remember, D-Rock was the security guard who allegedly apparently didn't work for Diddy anymore, but he was texting Mia talking about, why can't somebody want to send a gift to their little sister? I just want to send you something to make it right. You know, this is like the settlement allegedly that was supposed to be going on between Mia. I know it's easy to forget that. I need to put Mia on my chart. We'll do that next. And D-Rock. But these are texts between Mia. So first it's D-Rock. So now we're talking about D-Rock. Okay. The first thing we did was we read messages from these summary charts from KK. The second thing that we did was after the messages from the summary charts, excuse me. After the questions for KK, then they moved on to Jane's text messages and communications. After Jane, then now they're moving on to D-Rock. Now, all of these three, KK, Jane, and D-Rock, all of them had messages to some similar people like Diddy and other assistants, et cetera. But KK's on the web. She was the first one I put on there. I know. I put Diddy and KK at the top. I definitely got to put Fahim on there. So let's catch up with this first. So we're in D-Rock. We're in the D-Rock message land. Okay. We already saw KK's. We already saw some of Jane's. This is all because this one witness that's on the stand right now is talking about this summary chart. It's 33 pages. And it's a summary of hundreds, probably thousands of pages of stuff. So D-Rock and Diddy, there's one message between them right there. "Love you, man. Call me if you need anything, whatever. And then Diddy's like, "I'm gonna call you back. I'm talking to my kids." Okay, cool. So then there's another set of text messages. This is D-Rock to Mia. And I think this is the government trying to show or trying to prove that D-Rock was trying to obstruct justice, intimidate witnesses, pay witnesses off. Where are you? D-Rock says to Mia. This is another anonymous witness. She said Virginia Beach. D-Rock then texted Mia's number to Diddy. Okay, Mia then texts D-Rock back. I didn't have my phone. I was scuba diving. Okay, and then D-Rock says, we're opening up a new restaurant on the 17th. He says he doesn't want anything from you. Mia texts D-Rock back, super smart to stay in your bubble. Girl, I don't know what they're talking about. We're going to need some more context from CNN or somebody else. Okay, less than a minute ago, jury, this is CNN. Jury hears texts involving Diddy days after Cassie's lawsuit. Judge is back on the bench, and Ananya Sankar, a paralegal specialist at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, is back on the stand. The jury is seeing another summary chart of messages, including messages involving Diddy, Mia, personal assistant from 2009 to 2017. Oh, hold on. She worked for him for a long time. Okay, I'm going to put this one down here. Okay. Okay. So the jury is seeing another summary chart. This time it's messages involving Diddy, Mia, who is an assistant, and Diddy's former security guard, D-Rock. These are from November 19th, 2023. So just 3 days after Cassie's lawsuit was filed. D-Rock texted Diddy, quote, need to hear your voice, bro. Love you. Diddy said, thank you for checking on me. Rally, appreciate you. Love you. Those texts came days after Diddy's ex, Cassie, filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of R and physical abuse. The suit was filed on November 16th. It was settled a day after. The witness, Miss Sankar, is a summary witness that a government employee used by the prosecution to submit summary charts into evidence in an attempt to make things more clear. These charts are meant to show the jury messages and other information that haven't been discussed in testimony but were submitted into evidence. Diddy's mom is in attendance. While Diddy's children have attended on other days, they are not yet in court today. I'm just reading the independent update. Yeah, there's another potential issue with another juror. I don't know if y'all were all in here earlier this morning, but juror number 6 is out, but there's another juror issue. We don't know who has the issue with it, if it's Diddy's side, if it's the government. We'll find out later this afternoon. But yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. Hold on. The thread is starting to glitch. KK did not get immunity. Anybody saying KK got immunity, if that's being reported, that is news to me. But like a lot of times people start flooding inner city presses, like spamming his threads, and then you can't see what he's actually saying. Okay. So we're looking at text messages between D-Rock. We're looking at D-Rock and his text messages to different people here and there. Diddy and Mia specifically. So Mia says to D-Rock, I am on this island off the coast of Honduras. D-Rock, and remember, Mia said D-Rock was like one of her closest friends when she worked there. Like that was like, she would have said that was her best friend. I'll love to hear about Honduras, D-Rock said. Let me know how I can send you something. Mia said, I never ask for anything. He said, what? I'm not allowed to send, well, specifically, I'm allowed to send my sister a gift. And remember, she said she felt betrayed by him for that. She felt betrayed by that. Because he was like running, this like, trying to pay her off basically for Diddy. Anne Brannigan from Washington Post has an update. Court has resumed, and Ananya Sankar, a paralegal specialist at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, is walking through another summary exhibit showing years of correspondence between Diddy's security guard, Damian Butler, aka D-Rock, and others in his orbit. Over the past 5 weeks, the government has portrayed Butler as part of the Combs enterprise, a pivotal component of its racketeering case against Diddy. Yeah, Kanye is supposed to come back to court again. Okay, let me do some things for this. Web. I need to look up D-Rock Damian Butler. Oh, is there like a bunch of D-Rocks? Is this him? This seems like him, right? Is this him right here? Someone tell me if this is the correct Damian Butler D-Rock. Is this him? Someone tell me. Anybody gonna tell me if this is D-Rock? Yes, thank you, Donna. Donna said that's him. Okay. Because I feel bad dragging just random unsuspecting people who they not even talking about into this whole thing. Like anybody could be D-Rock, like I don't know. But I mean, I guess it's less likely somebody could be Damian Butler, aka D-Rock, aka also still in New York. But girl, I mean, who knows? I don't know. Just trying to get my little chart known out here. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to Inner City Press. Okay, nothing new there. All right, so let me show y'all the web. Let's do a little more webbing. Let's do a little more web work. Yes, Annie said it. When is Brandon going to testify? Could be today. Could be today, but definitely this week. All right, let's do a little more web work. Okay, here's D-Rock. We'll put him up here. Put we'll do like the Diddy in the middle, and then we'll call this the alleged so-called possible enterprise. Put them over here. We need to put Mia. She goes over here with the other assistants. We'll put the assistants there. I want to put the girlfriends over here, the guests. We have security here. That's D-Rock. We need Fahim. We'll do them over here. Where should security go? Here? All right, let's see if we can do $1 or something. Let's see. No, let's try this. Let's see, dollar. Yeah, here we go. Make $1 right here and put it behind them. Does that make it obvious what's going on with them? They're the dollar people. Or, whatever. Anyway. Okay, so there's that, and we're going to call that TriStar Sports. TriStar Sports. Or let's just call it Business Manager. TriStar. Lou Taylor. And then Robin Greenhill is the account manager / accountant. Okay, so we got that. Let's do a D-Rock. Make him a little smaller, I think. Let's do him like, how do I crop it? I want to crop. Oh, like this. D-Rock. Damian Butler. D-Rock. Okay. Security guard. And friend. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere, right? Then you have, let's bring these closer together. Because I like it to be where like you could look at it all at once. You could read it all at once without having to zoom all around. Trifecta with Jane. Cassie is like the first girlfriend here. Then we also have Gina, but I don't think they're really focusing too much on her. Okay, so this is what we have so far. It's let's do another lady, another woman. We'll make Mia a different color. Or actually, let's just use a different figurine. That way we won't get her confused. So Mia is also an assistant. She was an assistant from 2009 to 2017. We have Brendan Paul, who was like more recently an assistant. Okay, and then, yeah. All right, we're making some progress here. We're making some progress here. Okay. We have a new update from Inner City Press. Yeah. I'm gonna put. Don't worry. I'm putting Fahim in there. He's in. He's going in. Okay. Never asked for anything. I'm allowed to give my sister a gift. D-Rock said. Did you have any other involvement in this case, Miss Sankar? No. No further questions. Now it's Diddy's team's turn to ask their questions. Miss Sankar, this message from Damian Butler, that's D-Rock, to Diddy. Let's pull up the exhibit, line 363 days earlier, the legal filing. Okay, it's nothing new there. We already read that one. We have a new update from NBC. Text messages show Diddy's staff check in with him after Cassie's lawsuit. Text messages entered into evidence show that Cassie's lawsuit shook up Combs and those around him in November 2023, just days after Cassie filed her civil complaint against Diddy. In 2023, D-Rock, the security guard, texted him, "I need to hear your voice, bro. I love you." Diddy responded on November 19th, "Thank you for checking on me. Really appreciate it. Love you." One new update from CNN. Texts and calls between Diddy, D-Rock, and Mia highlight discussions about Diddy's relationships. On Thanksgiving that year, Diddy's former security guard, Damian Butler, is that how you spell D-A-M-I-O-N? Not A-N. He goes by D-Rock. He wished Diddy a happy Thanksgiving. He also told Diddy, quote, "I feel I need to see you and chill with you for a couple days. If you need a real friend, I'm here. Love you. Calling you." Oh, wait, sorry. He told Combs, quote, I feel I need to see you and chill with you for a couple days. If you need a real friend, I'm here." Diddy responded, "Love you, calling you." D-Rock texted Diddy a few days later that he would see him the next day. The jury then saw text messages between D-Rock and Mia, a Diddy assistant from 2009 to 2017. They were first shown during Mia's testimony, which feels like lifetimes ago. D-Rock texted Mia on November 30th, 2023, so just a couple weeks after Cassie's lawsuit. And it was the first time he texted her since 2021. So in like 2 years. He said, "What's up?" And when she responded, he said, "A lot has been going on." The jury then saw a call that was recorded that day. Mia testified she spoke to D-Rock that day, and he brought up Diddy and Cassie's relationship. Remember, he was like, "Oh, that was just normal fighting or whatever." Records show that D-Rock sent Mia's phone number to Diddy, who then tried to call her. So D-Rock gets in touch with Mia. Look, let's pull up the chart. D-Rock gets in touch with Mia. D-Rock gets in touch with Mia. Can I send you a gift? Can I send you some money? Can I send you some money? My sister. Then he gets her number, sends it to Diddy. All the while, he's like, "Let me know if you need a real friend, etc., etc. I want to come see you. I want to come hang out with you." All the while, he's sending Mia text messages. Then D-Rock gives Mia's number to Diddy, and then Diddy calls Mia. Okay, Diddy calls Mia. So this is the little triangle right here. Diddy, D-Rock, Mia. That's what we're talking about right now. A few days after that, Diddy texted D-Rock, "Thank you again for coming and being here with me. Love you, brother." Then D-Rock texted Mia again. So it's not just Diddy's security. Y'all have to remember, Mia trusted D-Rock. That was her friend. She didn't even know D-Rock was still working with, for, around, or whatever Diddy. She just thought that was her friend. And all the while, he's packing tails over there with Diddy. He texted her. D-Rock texted Mia, "Your boy," that means Diddy, "said to call him. He doesn't want or need you to do anything. He just called me." Then 2 months later, D-Rock again texted Mia, "Good morning. How you doing? Did you ever speak to P? He called me a couple days ago." Records in the summary chart show that D-Rock was in contact with Diddy around this time. Did we already read this? Jury sees collection of messages. This is ABC. Jury sees collection of messages from Diddy's employees about freak-offs, alleged substance deal. Jury is seeing and hearing disjointed smattering of text and audio messages meant to try and reinforce testimony from other witnesses about hotel rooms, substances, and travel. Prosecutors presented one group of messages between Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Karam, and the travel arranger, Jessica Ruiz. Is it Jessica Ruiz the same name as Cher's personal assistant? Or was that Jennifer Ruiz? Anyway, so there's the travel agent and KK talking about a flight for Jane and a male escort named Paul. So they're getting flights for Jane and Paul. Another group of messages involved discussions of paying a substance dealer and Diddy's request for 15 Molly Ann's. Prosecutors also presented a text from one of Diddy's assistants that read, quote, got to re-up on baby oil and bleep after receiving instructions to set up a hotel for a freak-off. The prosecution told the court that the messages were taken from electronic devices seized from Christina Karam, who has not testified during this trial. She's denied any wrongdoing. In a 2018 exchange presented to the jury after Cassie texted KK, I can't do the violence, KK messaged back, stay focused, not worth derailing. So just keep getting beat up on, Cassie. Just focus on your career, girl. That's what KK was basically, trying to say. We have a new update from CNN. Less than a minute ago, defense begins cross-examination of paralegal specialist. Tini Garagos is now starting cross-examination of Ananya Sankar. She read some messages in which Diddy reached out to Mia, one of the former assistants. The messages showed that D-Rock told Mia Diddy wanted to speak with her and also told her Diddy didn't want anything from her. Garagos read a message that Diddy sent to Mia on February 7th last year. This is the month before he got raided. Quote, hey, I don't want to be blowing up your phone, Diddy said to Mia. Just needed to talk to you for 10 minutes. Just. Anytime somebody's like the just. It's a minimizing. I don't know if y'all knew this or not. I went to graduate school for linguistics. So I really did very, very, very meticulously study these words people use. It's called a qualifier. Qualifier is just or like real quick or for a minute or, like things that like seek to this specific type of qualifier is one that seeks to minimize the ask. It is a psychological attempt to make the person think that you're not really asking for that much. I'm just asking for this. Now, who knows if she were to get on the phone, if it really would only be just 10 minutes, who knows? Hey, I don't want to be blowing up your phone. Okay. But hidden under there without being said is, but I am. Just needed. Need. It's a need. See, another like, this is something I need. It's not a desire. I need it. You're depriving me of something I need. And it's not even a big ask. It's just something so little. Just 10 minutes. I just need to talk to you for 10 minutes. I just need, not I want, not it would be nice. I would like to, no, need. It's just a small ask and it's a really big need. You're depriving me of a need. 2 sentences in a row. Just need 10 minutes. Just need my memory jogged. Bitch, if you don't start taking notes, how do you need your memory jogged when you record every goddamn thing? How do you need your memory jogged when you're the one with the recordings? Stupid. He goes on, you were my right hand for years. So I just again, speak to you to remember who was even around me to get our stories straight. And it would be good to hear your voice. But he didn't want to hear her voice until he was getting sued and raided and stuff. Okay. But if you don't want to, all good. Apparently it's not all good because this woman has been ignoring him. So again, these are more qualifiers to make it seem like he's being polite, to make it seem like he's being amenable, agreeable. This is a psychological manipulation tactic. And if you wonder how it is that I am not psychologically manipulatable, well, one reason is I have a good intuition. Another reason is because I listen to the freaking words people say. I read the actual words people say. This is a manipulation attempt, psychologically, linguistically, socio-psycholinguistically. This is manipulative. I just needed. It's something so small and I need it. It's something so small and I need it. It's something so small and I need it. He couldn't even write in need on this one. So I just to speak. But what's missing there? Need. Because I don't remember who was around me. You who are not getting paid anymore, you got to remember, and you still got to work for me. Remind me. Oh, also, it'd be nice to hear your voice. Yeah, I'm so sure. But if you don't want to, all good. But that's not true because she doesn't want to. She's been ignoring him, and it's not all good. Just let me know. So all you have to do is something you don't have to do, right? Just let me know. I'm kind of walking y'all through how this man is manipulative so that you can maybe, I don't know, hopefully, possibly in your life, see when people are manipulating you. Like if someone's using words like, I just need 10 minutes, but in your heart of hearts, it feels like you don't want to do it and you're having like resistance to doing it. You don't have to do it. It's bigger ask than they're trying to act like. Okay. But if you don't want to, all good. Just let me know. She don't have to let him know shit. No offense. I mean, sorry, excuse my language. She don't have to let him know nothing. But it's like situating himself in a position of authority where she does. And this is why people get psychologically manipulated. And then later on, they can't say why. I don't know why I felt like I had to do it. I just did. I'm telling you, I'm trying to sort out with you. It's because he acts like it's just this tiny little just. There's 3 justs in this 4-line sentence. I mean, almost 1 just per line, which is all manipulation. Oh, he also hopes she's well. Diddy's lawyer, also full of herself, confirmed with this witness on the stand right now that after that, D-Rock told Diddy Mia's number was ringing as if she was out of the country. Okay, and there's no record to suggest that he called Mia again after that. Diddy called Mia 6 times to clear up things after the Cassie lawsuit. Now, importantly, he didn't call her before the Cassie lawsuit to clear nothing up. He attempted to reach Mia, who previously testified for the prosecution, by calling and texting her multiple times in the months after Cassie's lawsuit dropped. Phone records show that in February last year, Diddy called Mia 6 times in one day and then messaged her after blowing up her phone. He didn't apologize. He didn't say sorry. He said, I don't want to be blowing up your phone. So we're not going to give people credit for apologizing when they didn't. Okay, NBC. That's where Chloe Mayloss works. So you always do have to take it with a grain of salt over there. Called Mia 6 times in one day and then messaged her after blowing up her phone. He added that he just needed to clear up a few things. He said he needed to know who was around him and when. Around the same time, evidence showed that Diddy's security guard, D-Rock, also messaged Mia, offering her a gift, but she said she didn't ask for a gift. Cassie's lawsuit was filed in November 2023, and federal agents raided Diddy's home in March 2024. We have a new update from Washington Post. And Brain again. The prosecution homed in on February 2024 text messages between Diddy, his security staffer Damian D-Rock Butler, and Mia, a former personal assistant to Diddy. The messages, which were presented in a chart, showed Diddy and D-Rock trying to get in touch with Mia over a period of a week and communicating with each other. So D-Rock and Diddy are going back and forth. I'm trying to get in touch with her. I'm trying to get in touch with her. Me too. Any word from Mia? No. Now, Mia, she testified already earlier using this alias. That wasn't her real name. It was a court-approved alias. She accused Diddy of sexually abusing her. She also corroborated key details of Cassie's testimony, saying she had witnessed Oh, excuse me. She had witnessed Diddy physically abuse Cassie. Oh, breaking news, Diddy's passing notes. Diddy is passing notes to his attorneys. TheIndependent.com. As the trial of Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs enters its 6th week Monday, the music mogul was seen in court wearing a light blue sweater and passing notes on bright pink Post-its to his attorneys. He greeted his attorneys with a huge hug, as he usually does at the start of each day in court. Inner City Press ain't been tweeting. Maybe he had to step out for something. Most recent tweet from Inner City Press was 20 minutes ago. I don't know what's going on. 9 minutes ago from CNN. Whew. 11 minutes ago from NBC. Okay, so we already did like a full analysis on this, so I'm not going to do it again. But Anne Brannigan from Washington Post did update just now. Another update. Quote, "Hey, I don't want to be blowing up your phone." Diddy texted Mia on February 7th, nearly a week after these exchanges began. "Just need my memory jogged on some things," he continued. "You were my right hand for years, so I just want to speak to you, to remember who was even around me. This too also could be scary. This could also, I didn't even see this the first time. You were my right hand for years. Kind of sounds like you were in on this, and you're on my team. You're on my side. If I go down, you go down. So it better be in your best interest to call me back." It almost kind of could be taken that way. I didn't see that on the first reading. You were my right hand for years. It could also be reminding of how, much Diddy needed her and make her feel bad, like, oh, he needs me again. Because remember, she was begging him for her job back. She was saying, "I'm going to unalive myself if I can't work for you." He wasn't worried about her. He wasn't worried about her, not one bit. Now it's, "You were my right hand for years. So I just want to speak to you to remember who was even around me." He sent security staffer D-Rock a copy of the same text. The conversations took place when Diddy was already battling multiple SA lawsuits, including ST allegations from Cassie. Summary witness Ananya Sankar is now under cross-examination by Teeny Garagos. Okay. We got another update tweet. We got another update tweet from from Inner City Press. Teeny Garagos asks, please read Nat Moore. Nat Moore. I don't know who Nat Moore is. Maybe somebody could fill us in the chat. But Nat Moore said, "The article could have been worse. They're calling it a breakup fight." Okay, Teeny Garagos said, "Let's read some messages that are not included in the chart. The government wants to put up this little charty chart. Let's read some stuff wasn't in that chart. Let's go to some of these other messages." And I'm sure the judge is like allowing these to come in. This all, if you weren't here when I said it last time, these were all very hotly, heavily debated. What could come in on the chart, what couldn't. Some stuff the government wanted to put in on the chart, the judge didn't let come in. So now Teeny Garagos is asking to queue up some more text. Excuse me. Whew. Some more texts that aren't in the chart. All right, let's see if we have anything new here, and then I'll put Fahim Yeah. All right. Let me go get a picture of Fahim Muhammad. Okay. Let's go to the web for a few minutes or a minute. Oh, wait. No, not that. I wanted this. Okay. So let's put him up here. Let's put him more like a little, let's do like this. Let's go here, Christina Karam. We got D-Rock here. And then Fahim. Let's put Diddy up here like that. Fahim, we'll put him here. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like he's closer, she's closer. Who's closer? I think D-Rock probably closer, but whatever. Okay, we'll do this. And then Fahim Muhammad. I don't know if that's how he spells it. Okay, so we're starting to get the enterprise a little bit here. So we got D-Rock texting Mia. We got KK. Let's spread it out like this. Let's do Fahim. All right. Fahim Muhammad, head of security. And then we got the business, cash register sound. We got Christina Karam, the personal assistant. D-Rock is kind of like a security, but also personal assistant. So I'll put Fahim here, head of security here. And then D-Rock, he's kind of like, yeah, then I'll put her over here. Okay, Fahim here. We'll put Christina Karam over here. We'll put D-Rock kind of like here because he was sort of like an assistant. And then we'll move the money people over here. Move Fahim right here. Move them right here. Okay. I'll probably still move it a lot more, but just to kind of make it like these people are up here. And then here's like alleged victim. She's victim. She's victim 1. This is victim 2. Excuse me. This is victim 1 and this is victim 2. Then of course we got to put Don Richard. Eventually. Okay, let's move these a little closer. So we'll put Mia kind of like over here. Okay. We'll just call it that for now. We'll put these kind of close to each other because they're both security. And then we'll, because I want to keep it kind of like tight. I don't want to have it sprawling all over the place. Okay. We'll call it that for now. That's what we'll do for now. Let's see if we got any updates. Don't worry. I see a lot of people saying, what about? Don't worry. I'm going to be getting to them as they come up. This is just in progress. That's why I said, do y'all want me to do it as I'm making it? Or do y'all want me to do it once it's done? And let's check the poll, actually. See what y'all said. What's the poll saying? %69% of people said whole process. Okay. Good to know. Okay. Let's go back to Inner City Press for now. All right. So the last thing Teeny Garagos said was, let's read some messages that are not included in the chart. So she brings them up. Jane writes, I can be dropped off at my building's front desk. And KK writes, he speaks directly with PD. I don't deal with him. LOL. Right. So Jane is like, I can be dropped off at my building's front, at the front of so Jane is like, drop me off at the front of my building. Somebody can drop me off right there. But then KK writes back, this is totally out of context. I have no idea why they're bringing this up. But KK writes back, he speaks directly with P. Diddy. I don't deal with him. So who are they talking about? Who? KK is like, I don't deal with him. Who? Who speaks directly with P. Diddy? I don't know. Teeny Garagos says, okay, then Jane writes to KK, pulling up to airport, smiley face. I'm excited to surprise him. Right. Uh-oh. 1 minute ago, NBCnews.com said Diddy's team was worried about reports of a breakup. Text messages show. According to text messages introduced into evidence in 2016, Diddy's team was worried about upcoming reports of him breaking up with Cassie in a confrontation that involved police. Diddy's team was particularly concerned about TMZ's reporting on the incident. But Diddy's chief of staff, KK, was ultimately relieved by what was published. KK said it's better than what it was. Definitely could have been worse. She wrote in a text message to his PR strategist, Natalie Moore. Is that the same one they said has been showing up to court? No, this is a different. Look. Ooh, y'all, this is new. Let me take her picture. This is her. Now, this is not who they have been showing. They have been showing this one lady. It's a black woman who has been coming to court as Diddy's PR agent, his publicist. Now, is a publicist the same thing as a PR strategist? I don't know. But this her right here, Nathalie Mower. They just spell anything like anything. Longtime Diddy. This is an article from back in September, right after Diddy was arrested. Longtime Diddy PR strategist Natalie Moore appears to have resigned. 20 plus years sidekick, likely to get dragged into ongoing investigations. Why she looks like she could be Christina Karam's cousin. That's what I want to know. Following the arrest of Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs on racketeering, ST, transportation to engage in P charges, his longtime PR strategist appears to have resigned. She has helped Diddy cultivate his public image for more than 20 years. But emails that Digital Music News, that's the publication we're reading, sent to her, Combs Enterprise email address now auto responds with, "This email is no longer active." The Daily Mail reported that her number could also have been disconnected as well. Speaking anonymously, a source close to the situation said Natalie is gone. She's 100% gone. She quit today. She had no other choice. She had to quit. What else was she going to do? The situation left her with no other option. Diddy was her entire world. She will surely be deposed for this if she has not already been. She has most likely had her cell phone confiscated. Who knows what's on there, the anonymous source continued. Natalie Moore is an Australian native. Shout out to the Australian natives in the chat, who moved to New York City to begin her career as a commercial photographer. Oh, just like Mark Leta. Isn't that interesting? She was handpicked by Diddy in the late 90s to manage his leadership team, and she's been with him ever since. Her last tweet from September 2023 is a retweet of Diddy celebrating a puff piece published in the New York Times last year, when the mogul was still riding high. So puff pieces are like, articles that get published that are basically just to make somebody look good. It's not like real journalism. It's just kind of like, oh, all hail Diddy. He got a key to the city or whatever. Diddy is not in his accolades era. Last year, he received a Lifetime Achievement Honor at the BET Awards. This week, and remember, this is from September last year, this article, it's the Global Icon Award at the VMAs. The disruptor has become the establishment, reads an excerpt from that puff piece that Moore helped place. Moore simply captioned the feature with the hashtag Moore Magic. So here's the puff piece. And she is the reason that got put in there. Natalie Moore served as Executive Vice President of Communications at Combs Enterprises. She also played an extensive role in helping shape Diddy's public image and his business portfolio. So she probably worked with Lou, which began with his fashion label, Sean John, in 1998. Moore was also instrumental in the launch of Sean John's fragrance lines, the Ciroc Vodka line, and the Bad Boy Reunion Tour. She's embraced Diddy and stuck by him even in the wake of Cassie's lawsuit and subsequent video leak. She also delivered statements from Diddy's attorneys after the FBI raided his homes. Her Instagram bio currently reads, "On vacation." Okay, so that's who they're talking about in here. And look, hold on. What were we talking about? Where were we? Natalie Moore, right? So TMZ wrote about something and she said it's better than it was. That means Natalie Moore pulled the Jones work PR strategy, pulled the Melissa Nathan, pulled the Jennifer A. Bell, called TMZ up and said, and whatever, and was like, look, it's better. What it came out now is better than what it was. Yeah, I didn't even know about her. Got to put her on the web. 1 minute ago, CNN.com said defense points to "I'm excited to surprise him" text from Jane. With summary witness and paralegal specialist Ananya Sankar under cross-examination, Teeny Garagos, Diddy's lawyer, pointed to a message exchange between Christina Karam and Jane around Valentine's Day 2022. Is this the Valentine's Day where she did the all-star party with 16 men or whatever, it's like 4 people there or something? In one of the messages, Jane said to KK, "I'm excited to surprise him." Jane later sent KK photos of a hotel room decorated with rose petals and heart balloons. Diddy loves a rose petal display in a hotel. Because I think Cassie did rose petals in a hotel before. I think Young Miami has, and then Jane did. 15 minutes ago, The Independent, from love contracts to movie nights. Thank God. Thank you, The Independent. I've been saying this for a long time. They call anything these days. They call a corn star a model. They call a corn shoot a photo shoot. And they call escort a entertainer. Anything is anything where you don't know what anything is anymore. It says the twisted terms of the Diddy trial. As the jury hears from witnesses in Diddy's ST trial, they've also encountered an array of terms not usually found in a courtroom. Initially, jurors learned all about these freak-offs when Cassie took the stand in May. A code word for a substance-fueled multi-day SEX session, often involving male S workers. Now, another girlfriend who dated Diddy from 2021 to 2024, that's Jane, has introduced a series of new phrases like movie night and love contract. The music mogul faces 5 federal counts of ST, transportation to engage in P, and racketeering conspiracy. Prosecutors have accused him of threatening, abusing, and coercing victims to fulfill his sexual desires from 2004 to 2024, and he's pleaded not guilty, and he's denied any wrongdoing. The judge is not, he is not about to put his health at hazard for any of these people. He said, I'm standing up to Stretch. Probably because he's letting them finish, and then he's going to dismiss for lunch. It is 12:02. Let's see. Teeny Garagos said, Your Honor, may I cover something with the assistant U.S. attorney? He said, of course. Jurors, while we wait, I'm going to stand up and stretch. You may do so as well. What an angel. I still think he needs to be admonished for doing everything in the super secret. We get another update from CNN. Is this the same? Yeah, it's the same one, but it did say less than a minute ago, so they must have updated something. Oh, this part is new. Remember, Jane, one of Diddy's accusers who testified in this trial under a pseudonym, testified extensively about going with Diddy to what she called hotel nights, which she described as sexual encounters with a male entertainer, typically in a hotel room. She testified last week about the Valentine's Day 2022 hotel night. What did she testify? Jane testified about a time in 2022 she persuaded Diddy to leave a trip with another woman by threatening to withhold a hotel night. She said, that was the first time I pulled that card. Jane also confirmed she planned a hotel night for Valentine's Day that year after Diddy left the vacation early. She said she planned to have 2 entertainers in the room at the same time and acknowledged that it was her idea to do that. And she was trying to get him to leave. She was jealous. She wanted him to remember, she was like, if you don't get your beep off of that island right now with that little girl, and that she would call like grown adults that because they were younger than her or whatever. So it didn't mean really like actual little girl, but she was like, if you don't get your off of that island. And then he came back to have a freak off. And then there was two men in the room that were supposed to be or whatever. Okay. 4 minutes ago, jury shown array of texts spanning from substance requests, details about wild king nights, and the lawsuit filed by Cassie. On Monday, that's today, jurors heard about an array of text messages while this expert, a paralegal specialist at the U.S. Attorney's Office, is on the stand. The court was shown messages between Diddy and his staff about buying substances from Guido, a dealer. In one thread, Fahim Muhammad, Muhammad. Hold on, let me update my web spelling. And it really isn't exactly because Muhammad is an Arabic name. We don't really have an exact spelling. That's why you get all these different spellings. Okay. Where was I? In one thread, head of security Fahim Muhammad, who was there whenever Michael Jackson died, don't ever forget it, gets approval to pay Guido for thousands of dollars worth of substances, illicit. Other messages between Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Karam, and Fahim Muhammad, the chief of security, show Diddy once requested 15 Molly Ann's. Quote, Puff, can you text Fa what you need? What you need him to pick up before his flight to Miami? Diddy responded in part, 15, I need Molly Ann, 15 pills. The jury, that's a lot, right? Why you need 15? That's a lot. I didn't even think about that. I don't actually know. I've never done this. I don't know how much is in a pill. I've never done it. I don't plan to ever do it. So I really don't know, but 15 seems like a lot. It seems like more than just like me and my 2 free call participants. You know what I mean? Like, why is it 15? The jury was also shown messages between KK and Cassie. In one message sent May 2017, Cassie told KK, "No one deserves being dragged by their hair. I locked the door for my safety." KK replied that she would try to talk to Diddy and help Cassie retrieve her belongings. In some messages shown to jurors, KK and Diddy's assistant, Brendan Paul, discuss how Diddy might need King stuff potentially. Later this morning, jurors were shown a summary chart of messages. This included texts sent days after Cassie filed her suit against Diddy, accusing him of things unspeakable. The suit was settled the day after it was filed for $20 million. In the messages, Diddy's former security guard, Damian Butler, who goes by D-Rock, messaged him, quote, "Need to hear your voice, bro. Love you. Thanks for checking on me. Rally, appreciate you. Love you." So the man is illiterate. Okay, we get an update here. Jury, this is ABC News. Jury sees more messages between Mia and Diddy's bodyguard. The jury is now seeing more texts that the prosecution is presenting with the intent to show how Diddy and his team reacted to former girlfriend Cassie filing a lawsuit. There was another former assistant. She previously testified. This is Mia. She told the jury that Diddy's bodyguard, D-Rock, repeatedly called and texted her in the days and weeks after news of the lawsuit became public. And he was urging her to talk to Diddy. Now, D-Rock is not testifying as of yet, but a summary witness read for the court some of the call and text logs from his phone that appear to show him in close communication with Diddy while he is chatting with Mia. Mia testified that the outreach from D-Rock and Diddy, quote, terrified her. The messages appear to show that Mia brushed off D-Rock's repeated offers to send his sister a gift. Federal prosecutors allege that Diddy orchestrated a criminal enterprise with the assistance of his bodyguards to pressure witnesses like Mia through attempted bribery. This was to, quote, stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew. 1 minute ago, CNN.com, jury sees texts showing Jane resisting pressure to make plans. Okay, so Jane wanted to make somebody wanted to make plans, but Jane, remember, she is an alleged victim. She's already testified. Allegedly, she is supposed to be making plans, and she's resisting. She's saying, I don't want to make those plans. Teeny Garagos pointed to a text conversation between KK and Jane, who dated Diddy from 2021 to 2024. Now, the text messages date back to February 2023. In the messages, KK asked Jane twice to call her and said Diddy was pushing her to figure out plans. And Jane responded, my answer to him is no. And it is still no. KK said she would let him know and told Jane to keep her posted if anything changes. So, like, let me know if you want to meet up with him and I'll let Diddy know. So this is, again, I think just being introduced to show on Teeny's side, it's being introduced to show that Diddy, that Jane had some type of autonomy to say no. But I think it looks bad because it just shows that Diddy is using KK to run interference between people. Let's go back to Inner City Press. I think we need to shut off the screens for the public. So these are texts between Jane and KK. And remember, they don't like each other. I need to update my web and put that on there. Y'all remind me when I'm doing web work. Jane and KK don't like each other. They are not friendly, but they did obviously have to text each other from time to time for things. And this is one of those times. I think we need to shut off the, okay. So these are text messages from right after Cassie filed her lawsuit. She filed her lawsuit November 16th, 2023. We got these text messages between these two that don't like each other, Jane and KK. Jane said, I'm not doing any more hard any more hard partying. She said something else about 3 years of wasted time. We learned about Natalie Moore. Yes, we did. Okay, we got another update from Washington Post just now. Anne Brannigan. Defense lawyer Teeny Garagos has been trying to highlight individual messages and time periods to cast doubt on how involved Diddy's staff was actually in procuring substances and coordinating freak-offs for their boss, or intending to the physical and emotional wounds of his girlfriends. But casting doubt, they're not casting doubt at all, Anne. They're making it obvious that KK was real involved. Regarding a lengthy text message between D-Rock and Diddy as they were trying to get in touch with a former assistant, Ananya Sankar, the witness on the stand right now, confirmed there are no records showing Diddy calling Mia after February 7th. Yeah, because he called her 6 times in one day. So maybe he figured it was time to lay off. Teeny Garagos also highlighted certain periods of time when Chief of Staff KK didn't appear to have communications about freak-offs, substance deliveries, physical abuse, including long stretches in 2019 and 2020, according to the government's summary charts. Okay, less than a minute ago. Ooh, are we getting something from? Are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about Robin? Yes, this is where we're eking up on Robin. Less than a minute ago, CNN.com. Defense points to text about expense payments. With summary witness and paralegal specialist Ananya Sankar under cross-examination, defense attorney Teeny Garagos highlighted a few messages from Fahim Mohammed, the head of security, to Chief of Staff Christina Karam, and also Combs' account manager. That's Robin Greenhill. I don't know why CNN and NBC are so hesitant to just name Robin Greenhill. They keep calling her the account manager. It's the accountant. It's the business manager. It's not just the freaking account manager. And I'm sick and tired of these people trying to, CNN, when y'all are just looking for something to watch. I did an interview with a CNN, at the time CNN reporter. Now it's she works for NBC, Chloe Malos. CNN was running PR for the Britney Spears conservatorship as well. I have reason to believe they need to just be investigated for not putting out real news. I don't know. This account manager is Robin Greenhill, and it aggravates me that they don't say her name. They say everybody else's name, but not her. Defense points to text messages about expense payments. There's messages between Fahim Mohammed, Christina Karam, the head of security, the chief of staff, and account manager, business manager, accountant Robin Denise Greenhill. In the messages, Mohammed, chief of security, asked for approval for a disbursement from P. Diddy Personal to pay a variety of expenses. A former Combs assistant has already testified this week that he sometimes used his company card to buy personal items for Diddy, but he didn't know whether these charges on the card were paid off with the company funds or Diddy's money, and that was all up to TriStar. CNN leaving out the TriStar piece yet again. Interesting. Very interesting. That's okay. I won't let anyone forget it who's watching over here. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, so they were looking at these text messages. I'm not doing any more hard partying, Jane told to KK. I wasted my time for 3 years. Okay, then we get a new tweet. Here is a text message from KK to one of the assistants asking, how does he look? And Mr. Perez says, shockingly good, better than before. Doesn't he say that? Yeah. Nothing further, Your Honor. So I'm assuming they'll probably break for lunch. Uh-oh. Now we're starting to get some messages between Diddy and KK where there might be some trouble in paradise. Okay. I think that Diddy is going to flip on KK and throw her under the bus. And I think he's going to flip on TriStar and Lou and Robin and throw them under the bus. Look at this. Less than a minute ago, CNN.com. If you cannot be honest with me, this doesn't work. Diddy's chief of staff messaged him. The jury is seeing messages between Diddy and his chief of staff, Christina Karam, from November 2023. This is the same time the same month that Cassie sued him. If you cannot be honest with me, this doesn't work. Quote, we all know what your kryptonite is and where you don't make the best choices. She said she felt like Diddy was lying, and she said it wasn't sitting well with her. Diddy said, come take my phone. She responded that it wasn't about his phone. She said, if he was starting to lie, that will break me. Oh, ho, ho. We are getting behind the scenes text messages. And who brought these up? It looks like Diddy's team. Teeny brought them up. It doesn't say, I guess. They're seeing messages between Diddy and KK from the month. That's whenever the trouble in paradise really hit the fan. It all just hit the fan. That month, Cassie sued November 2023. He settles the next day, $20 million. And here's KK. If you can't be honest with me, it doesn't work. We all know what your kryptonite is and where you don't make the best choices. He said, come take my phone. She said, it's not about your phone. It's about if you're starting to lie to me, that will break me. Don't lie to me. If you're starting to lie, that will break me. Well, I bet you she got broke. I bet you she's broke. It seems like the man can't really help himself but to be a liar. He seems like if he's nothing if not a liar. Okay, 1 minute ago, Anne Brannigan. Diddy alternated between stoic and restless this morning. He's wearing a light-colored sweater and a white collared shirt. He sat straight in his chair for parts of the cross-examination. His hands were clasped between his legs. He would regularly swivel his head from his lawyer, Teeny Garagos, who was doing the cross-examination, to other areas of the courtroom. During parts of the testimony, he turned and looked toward the gallery or tilted his head to gaze up briefly at the ceiling. Updating our different sources here. We already read that one. Got an update from CNN. Summary witness is off the stand. Teeny Garagos finished her cross-examination of the summary witness, and the summary witness left the stand. So they're going to call the next one, or they're going to go to lunch? That's the question. It is 12:19 local time, and it is the same time zone as where the court is. Thanks so much to Sarah for the £2 super chat. She said, witnesses for Diddy, can they have immunity? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the only ones that have immunity are the ones that the government compels to testify. I don't know why the government would be compelling a Diddy witness to testify, but I really don't know how it works. Thank you so much to Ira Meow for the $3 super chat. I cackled at what you did to Lou Taylor on your web. I didn't do that. That's actually a picture just floating around. Thank you to Rachel for the $1.99. Oh yeah, I needed to it's Pipe, right? Crack Pipe. Rachel, thank you for that $1.99. For the chart, this lady has a wild nickname, CH. I know. I should put all their nicknames in there. Thank you for that $1.99. Shout out to Nurse Janice in the UK becoming a member. Thank you. Does anyone else think Guido is G? Yes. I thought it could be Guido, and I also thought it could be Gio he was one of Diddy's videographers that apparently found a tape. But I haven't, Shauna, thank you so much for the $5. I have not had a chance to go back and check like what year that happened in the Lil Rod lawsuit. If anybody has a chance to do that, send it to my email, thatsurprisewitness@gmail.com. Thank you so much for that $5, Shauna. Thanks so much to Nurse Janice, UK. Not only became a member, she also gave £5. You're amazing, authentic, and real. Love it. Keep up the hard work. What app are you using for webbing? It's on Mac. It comes with iPhone. It comes with Mac. It's called Freeform. It's called Freeform. Thanks so much, PMLM, for the $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, Donna, for the $5. You are officially on my fave list. Great reporting and cute hairstyle. Thank you so much. I have been like not loving my hair lately. I need to I've been trying to grow it out and like also just stop highlighting it, but I think I want to highlight it again. I'm not really digging this like dishwater brown blonde really that much. Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to the favorites in the chat. Thank you, Laura, for the $1.99 Oilo super sticker. Thank you to Emo Hamtaro. X is 1 to 2 doses per. 15 would have to be a large group. Okay, thank you for that. I don't know. And I never will. And y'all act like, I don't want y'all to think I'm holier than thou or something, because the reason I don't do it, the reason I don't try this stuff is because what if I like it? I probably don't like it. Then what am I do? You don't have to stop something you never start. You don't have to quit something you never start. You know what I mean? Thanks so much for that $4.99. And thank you for that info. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like either like a binge or, oh, they done pulled up the next witness. Y'all, they didn't even go to lunch. This judge should have did lunch. It is 12:23. Okay. Next person on the witness stand is another summary witness. Now, this is Delessa Penland. She's on the stand. She is a special agent. So she's not a special paralegal. She's a special agent. She testified that her role in the case was to review the charts and data and make sure that the information was correct. 2 new updates from NBC. Oh, we get more insight into the riff that was starting to grow between Diddy and KK back whenever Cassie filed her lawsuit. NBCnews.com 4 minutes ago, Combs' top aide pushes boss on lack of honesty. A text message to Diddy from his chief of staff around the time Cassie lawsuit dropped seems to show some discord between him and Christina Karam. According to the text message, KK texted Diddy to tell him that this doesn't work if he wasn't honest with her. She wrote that his keeping things to himself put them in a situation they're all in right now, adding that she felt like they were about to relive it all over again. It's not clear what those messages are referencing, though it's notably around the same time that Cassie filed her lawsuit. And as Diddy's relationship, I didn't even see it that way. Okay, I see. She wrote that his keeping things to himself put them in the situation they're in right now and said, KK said to Diddy, I feel like we're about to relive that Cassie thing all over again with Jane if you don't tell me the truth. Now, it's not clear that that's exactly what they were talking about, but this was right at the time that Cassie filed the lawsuit and Diddy's relationship with Jane was breaking down. And remember, KK did not like Jane. They did not get along. Diddy's defense then went over a text from Jane to Diddy, telling him she felt sexually exploited, manipulated, and rugged by Diddy. 4 minutes ago, summary witness off the stand. She went over a lot to go over much of the evidence that she reviewed for the court. Paralegal for the U.S. Attorney's Office has left the witness stand. Okay, let's go to Washington Post. Okay, so Delecia Pinland. Let me look up this person. Special agent. Hold on, it's loading. Okay, here she is. She's a special agent for the United States Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York for the past 9 years. She investigated and assisted prosecution in cases involving public corruption, fraud, and other federal crimes. In 2018, she led one of the most complex and far-reaching public corruption investigations in recent memory, resulting in the conviction of 8 individuals engaged in bribery and fraud at the highest levels of the New York state government. Several of those convictions were appealed and heard by the United States Supreme Court. In 2019 and 2020, Penland assisted in the investigation, arrest, and prosecution of Michael Avenatti related to fraud and extortion. In the past few years, she's focused on victim-related federal crimes, which have included investigating and charging the following: a prominent pain management doctor for abusing his patients, an individual defrauding nonprofit organization that provided assistance to families of fallen NYPD officers, and multiple individuals related to elder fraud scams. In 2019, she was awarded the Outstanding Federal Law Enforcement Award by the Women in Federal Law Enforcement Organization and the Investigator of the Year Award by the Federal Law Enforcement Foundation. Whoa. Okay, so I guess that's her right there. Shout out to her. She's on the stand right now. Okay, so they call the next witness up. Now we're on Inner City Press again. Another special agent about more charts. These are about, quote, certain meetings. The chart being shown is about a meeting in the London hotel involving Diddy, Cassie, and Jules. Did we ever get a picture of Jules? I want to put him on the web. Next witness called to the stand. This is NBCnews.com. The government called its next witness to the stand, United States Attorney's Office Special Agent Delecia Penland. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Delecia? Usually if it's like 2 S's, then the vowel before it is short, but there's 2 vowels before it. But usually EA is like anyway, so I think it's Delecia. But it could be Delecia. But wouldn't that be Lisa? Girl, I don't know. Anyway, I say all that just to say I'm trying my best to, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. While she did not work directly on this case, she was tasked with reviewing Diddy's investigation. She was tasked with reviewing the investigation's charts and data. So she was like not directly involved with this case before, but then they gave her the charts and the data and said, go through each and everything and make sure it's right. This is kind of like what Kenneth Maxwell does for Hot Snakes Media. He's a former FBI agent who called me to act like he was trying to get the story straight about what happened to Bam and about what my investigations were. But really, he certainly wasn't doing that because what ended up getting published was full of lies. So anyway, for those keeping up with that. Okay, we got another update from Washington Post. Tina Garagos has finished cross-examining Ananya Sankar, a summary witness for the prosecution who walked the jury through charts showing correspondence of Diddy's most trusted staffers, including Christina Karam, bodyguard Damian D. Rock Butler, and account manager and accountant Robin Denise Greenhill also. They left that one out at Washington Post, but I wanted to make sure it was put in there. Prosecutors have begun questioning their next witness, Special Agent Penland from the United States Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. She's another summary witness. Okay. So this guy's name is Theodore Jules. The special agent is this. Now, this is we're on to the next special agent. She's not talking about text messages. She's talking about flights and meetings at hotels. These are meetings. The chart being shown is a meeting in the London hotel involving Diddy, Cassie, and this guy named Jules. Chart shown lists flights taken by, quote, meeting participants. So freak off participant. Now they're calling it a meeting. It's no longer a hotel night. It's no longer a freak off. It's just a meeting now. It's just a meeting, just taking a meeting. Now I'm wondering what kind of meeting Kim Kardashian took with Meek Mill over prison reform. That's what I want to know. At the Waldorf Astoria. That's what I want to know. So the chart is showing flights taken by meeting participants. He puts that in quotes. Jules and Cassie. The special agent says, okay, so on the chart, objection. So she literally says on the chart and then they object. The judge is like, okay, do we need to do a sidebar? They're already objecting, y'all. And now they're doing a sidebar. Okay. We already read that. All right. Well, we're waiting for the sidebar. I think we can use this opportunity. Oh, no, we got it. Sidebar's over. Ms. Johnson, when you say you attended, this is a direct examination. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Not you. When you say attended, do you mean to say the people concerned appeared from records absent the video to have attended? Yes. Okay. So what do you mean to say? The people concerned appeared from records to have attended. Okay, she's saying, I'm not looking at a video. I'm looking at flight logs and tickets and things like that. It appears that they attended. I don't know. I wasn't there, basically. Okay. So I guess the government, I guess Diddy's side, which, fair. Actually, I think this is a fair objection. It's like, well, you're just going to have this woman who has nothing to do with this say who attended a freak off? Well, can we say something else like whose name is on the tickets or something like that? Because just because their name is on a ticket doesn't mean they actually went. What if they did go to a freak off, but then they didn't attend it? One of the charges is transportation for purpose of institution, which means they have to actually prove that. And they can't just have this random expert who doesn't even know anything about anything showing up and saying, can't just have any old random person just showing up and saying any old thing. Shout out to those of you in recovery. Shout out to y'all. Seriously. Yesterday was obviously a very hard day for me. Father's Day. Don't make me start crying, girl. But those of you who don't know, I don't know how you could possibly not know at this point, but I actually did lose my dad in this physical earth matrix to substance use issues. So yeah, shout out to the people in recovery. Shout out to people in recovery who made the choice on their own, who weren't forced, because I know that's the only way to do it. Been off anything hard for 15 years. Shout out to you, Christina. Shout out to y'all on your sober journey. Ebony, shout out to you. Congratulations to everyone who has got clean. Yep. Those still struggling, please know there is hope. There it is. And I don't like this whole thing about like, if you just have one, moment where you go back to doing it again, like all the other work that you already did, like it's hard work every single moment to not, go back to those old ways. So if you have one moment where it's like, a slip up, like, maybe feel bad about it, y'all, but don't like, it's really not the end of the world. Like it really is just a mistake. It's just okay. And just try really hard not to do it next time if that's your goal and if that's your desire. Like that's one thing I see people beating themselves up a lot, and like they'll be sober and whatever for like, or off that their certain thing for like years. And then one day they'll have like, one little moment and it's like, oh, it's all ruined. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Every single moment that you didn't do it is a win for you. That's how I see it. That's how I see it for what it's worth. There's always hope. There's always hope. There's always a better life for all of us. Using, not using, recovery, not recovery. We could always make choices every day to live a better life for our own circumstances. That's the truth. Thanks so much, Liberated Lioness, for that $1.99. Shout out to you, sober since, wow, February 27, 2011. Shout out to you. Good job. Congratulations. Let's see what y'all are saying here. Thank you, Jules. Hey, beautiful girl. Love from Alabama cousin. Shout out to the Alabama cousins in the chat. Tiger Bait. Just kidding. Thank you for that $2. Thank you, Jeanette Guzman, becoming a member. Shout out to you. Thank you, Brittany. The Molly Ann don't last 24 hours, at least not that I've ever experienced. Ooh. Multiple rounds. Don't worry. I stopped when I grew up. Good. Shout out to you. Thank you. And I'm glad that, somebody did it so I don't have to, because I already told y'all, what if I did it and I liked it? I probably would. That happens a lot, though. A lot of people who is like born into families where there is like substance use, they won't use that. Like, it's at least that specific substance. Like, my dad was raised by an alcoholic. My dad never would touch alcohol, but he would do other stuff, Thanks so much for that. Shout out to I Don't Know Her, becoming a member. Wow. Shout out to Roger, 30 years almost. I hope you're going to have a party on the 30th year on that anniversary. Been sober 4. I was addict 30. Shout out to you. Oh my gosh. Y'all in here that are saying y'all were struggling with it for 30, 35 years. That's something to be proud of, because it's hard to quit stuff. It really is. Shout out to y'all. Okay. Next question. Who are the participants in this chat? That is Jules and Diddy. Okay. Jules, you're going to be Jules, and I'm in the prosecutor. I'm going to be Diddy. So Jules said, I'm available Friday through Sunday. Whatever flights work. Which one? Diddy said, Friday at 4. I'm trying to be hoarse. They told me he was hoarse a while ago. I'm like truly surprised they didn't go to lunch. We have a new update from Washington Post. 1 minute ago, Anne Brannigan. Do we read this one? Yeah. The summary chart, 1 minute ago, Washington Post. The summary chart the prosecution is now walking through is a big one. Aligning the names of Diddy, Cassie, and alleged escorts with flight records, hotel reservations, and videos allegedly taken from freak-offs. The chart is 71 entries long. Special Agent Delessa Pinland said the chart only shows individuals for whom they have video footage showing they were at a particular freak-off, which the government is referring to as meetings. So everybody wants to just play, pretend. Everyone wants to call anything these days. They're calling forced S sessions that are drug-fueled meetings now, okay? Like, I mean, I think the people at AA would beg to differ that this is what a meeting is, okay? But here we are. He did call it a sober. How mad, the people in recovery, how mad, how aggravated were y'all when y'all saw Diddy refer to this thing as a sobriety party? Please. How insulting. How insulting. So this is 71. We're getting a lot of information here in this very short update from Washington Post. This is a 71 entries here. And these are only individuals for whom they have video evidence that these people were at particular freak-offs. The government is referring to these things as meetings. So let me read it one more time. The summary chart that the prosecution is now walking through, it's a big one. It aligns the names of Diddy, Cassie, and alleged escorts, including Jules, with flight records, also hotel reservations, videos taken from freak-offs. It's 71 entries on the chart. Special Agent, the one testifying right now, Delessa Pinland, said that the chart only shows individuals for whom they have video footage that they were at a particular freak off. So we're not just putting, remember I was talking earlier, like, yeah, that's fair. You don't know which one, who went where for what. Maybe somebody flew into Miami. Maybe they didn't go to a freak off. Wrong. They got video evidence of the people at these specific freak offs. So then they reverse engineer. They were like, hey, here's the freak off from this day. Let's reverse engineer. How'd this person get here? Let's look for flight logs. Let's look for flight records. I don't even want to think about how much manpower, woman power, computer power, AI power went into going through all this, all these years, 20 years of stuff, y'all. Okay. That's the most recent there. Let's update the Independent. We have a new update from abcnews.go.com 8 minutes ago. Defense downplays employee involvement in alleged crimes in their summary witness cross-examination. Right, because Tina Garagos is like, isn't there one time where this person didn't communicate with Diddy about something? Yeah, like let's talk about that one time. It's like, girl, what about the 16 other times? You're just not going to mention them? Defense, okay, on cross-examination of the government's first summary witness, paralegal Ananya Sankar, defense attorney. Okay. So on the cross-examination of that first witness, she's not on the stand anymore, but they're giving us some more information over here at ABC News. Tina Garagos highlighted messages that Diddy and them, they contend these messages downplay the role of Diddy's employees in allegedly procuring substances for him. In one such message, KK, Diddy's former chief of staff, said she doesn't talk to Guido. The prosecution said this is a substance dealer. She said Diddy talks to Guido himself. Sankar is now off the stand. The next witness is Special Agent Delessa Penland of the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. She reviewed charts and data. She's a second summary witness for the prosecution. Okay. Shout out to Inner City Press. He's covering so much stuff. He's now got another update from another case coming in 21 seconds ago. The case against Fox's Ed Henry B. Eckhart. Ed Henry B. Eckhart. I don't know what that is. Has been settled. She will appeal dismissal of Fox, her lawyer writes. Inner City Press updated the story. Okay. Shout out to Inner City Press. If y'all want to support him, his channel or his Twitter, this account that I'm looking at right now, his X account is linked in my description box below, and you can find there all the different ways you can support him. I personally am a Twitter subscriber, and I have purchased at least one of his books. I want to purchase the other ones, but they're ebooks. I like paper books. But he's doing these as ebooks because the paper book was like hidden by Amazon. Like they wouldn't let him post it or sell it or something. I remember vaguely something going on with it. Like he had to do ebooks because of that. Okay. I'm just updating all the different things. Shout out Kitty Cat. Quit smoking 4 years ago. Nicotine gum was the only way you could do it. Get the fix after eating while still being proud of not smoking. I still love them, but can't touch them. I've never smoked a cigarette. Never one. And I never bought one of them little things either. I might have took like one puff or something off someone's vape just to see what all the hype was about. And it was awful. I hated it. But I mean, like I said, y'all, if I was kept doing it, I probably would like it. That is the type of person I am. Okay. Thank God I'm basically allergic to alcohol at this point. I do two glasses of wine and I am sick the next day. And I think it's the Lord protecting me, to be honest. I won't, Caroline. Don't worry. Don't worry. Shout out to Sparkle, 13 years sober. I have a celebration every single year on my quit date. Lady NJ, you have to understand we are free from the bull that badly affected our life. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Does anyone know the program BJ used for making the web? Yes, Nate Web. It's called Freeform, and it's pre-installed on all of the Mac stuff. This is a Mac computer, and this is a Mac computer and a Mac phone. iPhones have it too. You go to the res, girl, $51 for a cart. Oh, a carton. That's expensive. No, wait, that's cheap. A carton? No, like 24 packs or 12 or something. That's a lot. Addiction is hard. And listen, everybody is addicted to something. Everybody is addicted to something. If you can't get it through the day without drinking coffee or caffeine, you got an addiction. I hate to break it to you. And there's nothing wrong or shameful about it. That's what I'm trying to say. No, it's wrong to like hurt people and break laws and stuff, which sometimes does go along with certain types of addiction, but that's like not the same thing. Thank you, Melanin Queen, for the $5. I watch you every day from Philly. Oh, I was in Philly. I lived in Philly 3 years. Philly is it. Look, if I have to pick a city that's like my city, like if I had to live, like, you know, that's my city, I associate with that city as my city, it would be Philadelphia. It would be Philadelphia or New Orleans, but I never lived in New Orleans. Like, it's like the city, you know, in Louisiana or whatever. It also stinks over there, but it has, you know, really good food. So I love Philadelphia. Thank you for the thorough coverage. Shout out to Melanin Queen. I met Prim, my fiance, in Philadelphia. Yep. It just depends on whatever. I mean, they call some things drugs and some things they call, you know, other things, but shout out to Philly. Shout out to Philly. That's where I went to law school. I went to law school at the University of Pennsylvania, right there on Sansom. Okay, we got some more tweets, or at least one more. We have one more tweet. Two more tweets. Okay. Where are these flights between? Okay, so this is what I think's going on. I think that the prosecutors called these two summary witnesses for these two separate reasons. I think the first, carton is 10 packs, they saying. They used to be 50, but now they're like 120. I'm in Oklahoma. It's too much. Now I can't smell. Anyway, I think they called up the first witness to basically show evidence and piece together for RICO. And I think they called this witness to piece together evidence for the interstate travel of people for the purposes of restitution, if y'all know what I mean. Where are these flights between? The witness says Los Angeles and New York, but specifically the JFK airport. Next question. Do document retention policies at Combs Enterprises or elsewhere impact your ability to get certain documents? The special agent said, yes, certain records, certain documents I could not get. Okay. Finally, they went on the lunch break. Let's see. It seems like the news, the different sources are having trouble kind of keeping up with like even what to like really write, because all of them haven't really updated for a while. We do have a 6 minutes ago update from the Independent. The government called their next witness to the stand. Special Agent Delessa Penland. She did not work directly on Diddy's case. She was tasked with reviewing the investigation charts and the data to ensure that it was correct. The chart that Penland, the special agent, is showing contains 71 entries connecting Diddy, Cassie, and alleged escorts with flight records and hotel reservations and videos allegedly taken during freak-offs. Okay, so these are freak-off videos. She testified less than a minute ago, CNN.com. Summary witness testifies about travel records. She walked the jury through a summary chart that shows the date, location, attendees, and travel records related to different meetings, aka freak-offs. One meeting in December 2009. Okay, they went all the way back to 2009. Now, remember, the charged conduct happened between 2004 and 2024, so there's a 20-year period of time. So all the way back in 2009, one meeting involved Diddy, Cassie, and a man at the London Hotel in New York City. Cassie previously testified that man often joined them for freak-offs. Penland read out loud some messages between Diddy and the man coordinating travel for the trip. So Diddy was talking to the man who was coordinating travel for this trip. Diddy, 2009, December, sent an email to the personal finance director for his executive office. Now, who is that? I don't know who is the personal finance director for his executive office. I'm not really sure if that's the same thing as Robin, because I don't know if they actually go back quite that far. I do think Diddy and Lou Taylor started working together in the 90s, early 90s, whenever Diddy was at Uptown Records. That's what I really think. I think they go back that far, but I don't know if Robin herself was on the case, on Diddy's case. And also it's being called the personal finance director, and it's not being called the account manager or the accountant. So I don't know who this is, but Diddy sent an email in 2009 to the personal finance director for his executive office saying he needed a flight booked under this man's name. The finance director sent back flight itinerary. Penland said the man's flight itinerary was found in records. So this flight itinerary was found in records for Combs Global. Okay, that's the business. Again, kind of helping to pull in the RICO enterprise, but I really think that this particular special agent Penland is really primarily being relied upon to show the transportation for interstate, whatever, institution, all that. She explained that the flight records for the man and Cassie indicate they were both in the city at that same time. But apparently this is also showing like, oh, they're still talking. Should we address Mr. Brendan Paul now? The judge said. What does that mean? Is he pleading? I think he's pleading the fifth. I think that's what it means. Mark it right here. 12:53 p.m. I've been live 3 hours, 47 minutes, 34 seconds. I think Brendan Paul, they're going to let him plead the fifth. They're going to let him have the immunity order, but that's just my speculation. We won't find out for confirmation until tomorrow. Look, the jury left, but they stayed in here. Shall we address Mr. Brendan Paul now? The judge said. The feds said no. Better to do it tomorrow morning. Okay, this special agent's going to be on all day. The prosecutor said, yeah, this special agent's going to be on into tomorrow. And then we're going to have Brandon Paul and then a final summary witness. So they only have 2 more witnesses to call up after this. Brendan Paul and a final summary witness. And then after that, Diddy gets a chance to make his case. Y'all, we are only halfway through this trial, substantively and temporally. What the judge says, what witnesses would the defense be putting on Friday? All right, y'all. We are getting the first breaking news. You heard it here first. You are getting the first 2 witnesses that Diddy's team intends to call. Now, Mark Agnifilo is saying it. Take it with a grain of salt. He is known to not be a man of his word, Mr. Notes. But he said 3 witnesses we're going to call. We're going to call Vashta Wilson. We're going to call Stefan Lind, something strange pronunciation. And we're going to call a paralegal in our office, paralegal in Mark Agnifilo's office. So I need to retweet that. Breaking news. Now, they could change their mind. I don't think anything's really holding them to that. Breaking Diddy news. Diddy lawyer Mark Agnifilo tells judge which witnesses defense, aka Diddy's team, intends to call as first. Presumably Friday. Vashta Wilson. This is the former HR lady. Who is that? Vashta Wilson. Let's see who that is. Okay, I got information on Vashta. Vice President of Operations for Bad Boy Entertainment. Vice President of Operations for Bad Boy. But then you look her up and it's like got a picture of this KK. It's so hard to tell. Is that KK? Is that Lena the Plug? I mean, who is this? Is it Teeny Garagos? It's hard to really tell. But Mia had testified about Vashta. That makes the most sense that it would be the vice president of operations. So then we have Stefan Lind. I don't know who that is. Even Inner City Press is like, I don't really know how, what, I'm doing my best. I don't know what he said. Okay, the judge said, okay, next issue. In terms of the defense's expert, I would like the Dober issues teed up. So can y'all, sort out those issues before we get into court so I can read the papers and make my decisions? And then the assistant U.S. attorney's like, okay, yeah, we'll work on that. I'd like the Dober issues teed up. We'll work on it. We'll be providing, so Alexandra Shapiro, this is Diddy's lawyer, said, we will be providing the government with a supplemental response to Dawn Hughes's testimony. Okay, so they're going to be going back and forth over their experts. We have two new updates on NBC. Government witness reviews flight records of male escort. Prosecutor Emily Johnson is having U.S. Attorney's Office Special Agent Delessa Penland review flight records belonging to Jules Theodore, an escort frequently hired to engage in freak-offs with Cassie and Diddy. The special agent went over text messages between the two men from December 2009, in which Diddy arranges plans to have Jules travel between New York and LA to party for a weekend. The special agent testified to the flight itinerary and hotel arrangements, confirming that a meeting did take place at the London hotel between December 11th and December 14th, 2009. And this appears to be questioning the two transportation charges to engage in institution that Diddy is facing. Yeah, that's also what I thought as well. Lunch break and testimony. Returning at 1:30. The special agent will continue her testimony, but they stayed in here to argue during the lunch break. We do have a Washington Post update. The chart tracking alleged freak-offs, dates, locations, and participants, it begins in August 2009 with an encounter involving Diddy, Cassie, and Jules. Cassie mentioned Jules several times in her testimony, describing him as a trusted partner at the S parties. Along with the first entry, Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson highlighted a text exchange between Diddy and Jules from around that time. So this is when Diddy was setting up the FOs. It appeared to show them working out their schedules for one of the freak-off meetings. The chart shows two meetings taking place in August and one in December. All of these happened at the London hotel. Okay, Eastern District of New York charging 8 members of the 18th Street Gang, Cali 18, with racketeering conspiracy, including predicate acts of involving narcotics and firearms trafficking, production and sale of fraudulent identification documents, and extortion. Okay, interesting. Okay, There's some more stuff still going on. On lunch, it's 1:01 PM right now. I'm gonna take my lunch break. I'll be back around 1:30, and we'll continue on with this witness about the, proof of the FOs happening. So, oh my gosh, House of Glam, true. It does seem like this. House of Glam said Diddy would only set up the FOs when he was setting the women up. He would act like, "Oh, let's hang out." And then here comes a worker. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Got one just hiding right around the bush, just ready to jump out. All right, I'll see y'all in like 30 or 40 minutes or whatever, and we'll be back for that. Go get some lunch, go get a snack, and catch up on what's being said inside the courtroom if you can get any of that info. And then see y'all in a little while. And that's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation, neither is opinions, neither is reading stuff inside there. I don't know, I wasn't there. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.